working. I need to change the size of this because Jack was streaming. Chat box. Save it up. That's a lot better. Let's mute that. We're here. It's working. We're live. No one can tell us otherwise. Let me get into Skype so Jack can join in. There it goes, very loudly. Apologies. And I should probably open up PTGO, huh? How's it going? It has been a while. Valencia shenanigans have got in the way of regular streams. I've actually just been having a family meal, so I've still got a little tub of ice cream with me to finish off as I ran out of the place when I saw it was like 1:15. I was like, oh no. I thought it was like 7, but definitely not. So yeah, good to be back. We'll be figuring out the world's meta today, so should be exciting. That reminds me I need to get my spreadsheet up. Seeing as though nothing can be done without a spreadsheet in this world. When you realise Metagross and Bulu are good post-rotation. I haven't looked that far, so I'll leave that to you. I still have a somewhat important tournament known as Worlds before I can look at post-rotation. Right, that's ready to go. That's all there. Orderpad Bulu Badiff. Who is this Ginger Jack? Dombre, how's it going? Where is Jack? I wonder if he's here. Where is this man? I've got a bloody big microphone in the way, so I can't see anything. Here he is. Let me see if I can add him. Oh my god. All sorts going on. Okay, I should probably log into PCGO, huh? Chaos! Chaos. This is what happens when you're late and don't prepare anything. I've been doing mental preparation today, just not physical preparation for today. So, I think the start of the video will be looking at my Zoropod list for Valencia. Then we'll look at the Clown Frogs list that me and Jack played day 2 in the Cup. And then we'll head over to the spreadsheet and start looking at the top archetypes coming out of Celestial Storm and how they impact the current archetypes. And also look at new additions and threats for the current archetypes and how they'll have to adapt to Worlds. So this is basically the basis of my beginning of testing of Celestial Storm. So it's a good episode, I think, today. Should be a good stream. And I'll hopefully get some good interaction from you guys and input. Let's have a look at this Zoropod and see what I need to change to make it the Zoropod that I played at the weekend. Okay. And played 3 of this. Cry face emoji. Got this. Played 4 of these. I did play Max Pot. Where was the space for Max Pot? So at the moment, it's just one of these. 2. I think that was it. Okay. So we played the Resource Manager, of course, because Tord Pod came second, and it's pretty important to recover those cards. Ah, Jack is here. And I've pressed yes, but there we go. Yo!
Hello.
Did we play the same 60 Jack day 1?
Yes, we did.
You sure?
Yeah.
Was this the 60 you played?
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, it's gone off the screen.
Sorry, it will be back in a sec.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the 60 I
Same
played.
60. Okay. Seb, how's it going? Tord, how's it going? I hope you're good. So this was the 60 me and Jack played at Valencia.
Hmm.
I made a video about Zoropod like 2 or 3 days before the NAIC. The differences that came out of the NAIC was obviously Zoro Garb did very well, so there's considerations of adding in third blower, and also Tord Zoro obviously came second. So we have to play at least our own Orangaroo to not auto lose that matchup. So having to cut one Guzma was painful, but necessary just because Guru is OP, and I got to use it in a couple of my rounds, and it was really good. And the Max Potion was added just because we were expecting more Zoro Mirrors, so having 1 Acerola, 1 Max Potion, pretty good for Zoro Mirrors because you want to have as much healing as possible. Puzzling back Max Potion is pretty important in the late game because you don't really want to Acerola, because then they can just eat up your Zoruas or Wimpods, so the Max Potion is an important card.
Mm-hmm.
Tord, you got poisoned by our water? Oh no. You sure it wasn't the other liquids that you drank at our place? Deary me. Okay, so real quick rundown. I think there were, how many people were in day one, Jack? Was it like 140, something like that?
150.
150?
I'd say, yeah.
So
Between 140 and 150.
yeah, around that number. 8 rounds?
Yeah.
8 rounds. Top 32 points, but only cut into a top 8. So you really have to have a pretty good day one if you're going to make it into that little top 8. Decks we were testing a lot before the tournament, obviously testing against a lot of Buzzrock. Seeing as though all of us basically wanted to convert to Zoro after neither of us played it in Sheffield. And Jack hasn't played Zoro at a big event before, so it was about time he did so. And we tested against a lot of Buzzrock, because that's always public enemy number 1. We tested Mirrors and against Zoro Rock, and we tested against some Frogs just because Benji was there. We tested against some Straight Buzz, some only a little bit against Tord Pod. Oh, sorry, yeah, Tord Zoro. We also randomly tried out just like Zoro Guardi and Zoro Gallade. We were both super close to playing a really cool Zoro Gallade deck.
You should show that list later.
We should show that list later, but the main reason we both didn't was because it didn't have a convincing enough Buzzrock. And although Buzzrock didn't do amazing at the NAIC, it was still going to be super popular. And the fact is, all the Zoro decks did very well, so it's an easy call to just bring Buzz to the tournament. So that's why we ultimately didn't go for Zoro Gallade. Not really Zoro Guardi, because we actually cut the Guardi completely and just wanted DC using Gallade for mirror matches. So that would have been a lot of fun, but we ended up both bailing and going for the safer route. I've played a lot of Zoropod, so it's a super comfort pick at this point. Quick round by round, I guess. I played against Buzzrock round 1. They drew pretty well round 1 game and pretty poorly another game, and that was a pretty simple tie. We basically just set up for game 3 and time was called, so that's just how it goes, really. Then in round 2 I faced a mirror match. It was Pendarvis's list, so Delinquent, High Parallel but no Monkey, and it's really easy when Zoropods don't play Monkey and you do, because when it came to the late game I was able to I was ahead on prizes. So when you're ahead on prizes, it's really good to be using resource management, because it means that even if your Monkey is going to get knocked out, you're not going to lose yourself the game, but you're getting yourself into a place that you can't lose because you're just getting back puzzles. So having Parallel Stick on their side and then running out of DCEs meant that they were pretty much having to use their puzzles on suboptimal things, and then I just had more healing and just and like Guzma and stuff like that. I actually remember double puzzling 2 hammers back, just because they only had 2 DCEs left. I got rid of one that was on the board, and I had the other one just in case I was going to get end, so we can get straight back into it, and had to scoop from there. So it was a really long game 1. The monkey won it for me, guaranteed, basically. And there was no real time for a game 2, which was cool. Round 3 I actually faced against our Lord Tord, and he had a very unfortunate Sycamore. I had to get rid of 3 of his puzzles. It obviously was a factor in the matchup. In my defense, he did get more resource managements off than I did, so in a way it's a fair fight, but in every other way it's not a fair fight, because he couldn't bridge it. He was left with 1 Zoroark basically the entire game, because I just bring up Zorua, dead, bring up Zorua, dead, bring up Zorua, dead. So his board was literally 1 Zoroark, 3 or 4 Lele, and then his monkey eventually came onto the board. So we were drawing through our deck a lot quicker. He still made it way too close and very scary. I had an exact amount of cards to finish off the game by using all 4 puzzles in my final turn to win. If I don't win that turn, he can delinquent away part of my pieces, and then I lose. So delinquent is the next level of teching for the matchup. If you want to really win like Mirrors and like Tord Pod, you got to play Max Potion, Acerola, E-Hammers, and Delinquent as the extra card, the extra spice. But I think there's only really space in Tord list for that. I don't think there's enough space in this list. So even though Tord got rid of 3 puzzles with Aggro Sycamore and then like whiffed Zoruas, he's still like favoured on paper because they play 2 Max Potions, 3 E-Hammers. They have more hate in the deck than we do, so it's still a fairly close fight, and it was nice to get a cheeky win against him. Obviously in fortunate circumstances, so let's not read into that too much, but I am the best player in the world now. My rounds 4, 5, 6... No, sorry, in round 4, I face a Buzzrock, and I lose on their second turn of time when I had game on my last turn of time after me ending them to 1 and them having Guzma Choice Band. Yum. Then I face a Zygarde GX deck when the opponent had to pick up and read Gliscopod, so that was a nice win. Then I face in rounds, so now I'm at round 5. So in rounds 6, 7, and 8, they're all Buzzrocks. I lose 1 more again to... Actually, so I tie 2 other Buzzrocks, and then I lose my win and top 16. Because I was, at this point, what was I, 4-1-2? Yeah, I was 4-1-2. Yeah, so I could have gone to 5-1-2. And I actually lose that game. Again, I Sycamore to 3 cards. No, sorry, I N, and off of his 3 cards, he gets B-String, Sycamore. And then I N him to 1 and respond with a Mew EX, and then he is able to Cynthia into, I think it's Elixir attachment to finish me off. So that was some good roll in there from the opponent. I really felt like our games 1 and 2 was super weird as well. We both dead drew game 1. I had a Mew EX active, and I was just Guzmering and hitting stuff for 40 for like 3 turns while I was trying to survive. My Mew ended up having 90 damage on it, then I drew into Bridget, and then had like Bridget Max Potion reattach, start swinging. But then in the game 3, it was just that crazy N into B-String, Sycamore, then N into Cynthia, which then gets them Elixir attached, and it's just like, stop, like that's not nice, you know? And he admitted as well, he was like, wow, that was talent. It was really insane. I remember sitting next to Chris Atlantis, and he was on the side of my opponent, and he just, after the first end, he shook his head like, no. And then after the second end, when I slam him with the Mew as well, putting me down to 1 prize card, so I literally win on board completely next turn if he can't get this combo. and then he's able to get that again, and his eyes just roll as if out of the back of his skull. It was hilarious, and I was pretty livid at that point. But so that ended me on 4-2-2 record, so I thought I was out of all sorts of points, but the day wasn't a complete waste. I was super salty after that loss. Like, I was salty from as soon as he slammed the Sycamore, let alone the Cynthia the second time. Yeah, going 4-2-2 was really upsetting, but when the pairings or the standings came up, I was able to sneak into top 32, actually. I was one of 2 4-2-2s to make it out of 7, I think, so really fortunate to actually squeeze into top 32. So at least I come away with something from the weekend, which is good. It's a nice starting point, 60 points. Obviously, it doesn't conflict with cups or anything like that, so it's a really good starting point overall. And yeah, Jack, what was your day like?
Horrid. Long story short, I will go through round by round, I guess. But long story short, I faced 6 Zoro mirrors, and after, like, fundamentally, it was my lack of Zoro experience that led to me having a bad day. But I think the fact that we'd been pretty chilled the first couple of days. I must admit I hadn't playtested as much as I wanted to. I think there were a lot of contributing factors to why I ended up doing so badly. I went like 1-2-3 drop or something, 1-3-2 drop or something trash like that. So I was super salty for the first half of the weekend. Started off against Zoro Garb, and this was quite simply not knowing the matchup well enough. Game 1, he has a really, really bad start. I'm able to take out his lone Zoro turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 3. So he pretty much scoops up his cards as soon as I've taken out those. Like, the fact he hasn't got a Zorua down by turn 4, he pretty much scoops up his cards. But game 2 and 3 go pretty how you'd expect them. I'll let Joe finish dying first. They go pretty much how you'd expect them to go. And I think with a bit more testing, I could have won that matchup, but I just think I fundamentally didn't know exactly where to go, which is just my lack of knowledge as a Zoro player, which is fair enough. I feel like that I can admit that. And that's essentially why I played Zoropod this weekend, because like Joe says, I've never played Zoropod in a tournament, let alone at a big tournament. I've played Zoro in cups before, but I think the Zoropod, at least up until Tord Zoro was released, was probably the most thinky of the Zoro decks. So I felt I wanted a challenge. Round 2, I was against Tobias Teasing, who was playing Zoro like metal stuff, and that was it was actually probably my most enjoyable game of the day, because it was something other than it was an interesting Zoro variant. It had some cool partners, which was that led to a lot of thinking as well. But I feel I played it pretty well. Unfortunately, I won game 1, and I won a long game 1 as well. Game 2, I present a board state that wins. Then game 2 goes into time. On turn 2 of time, I present a board state which means that I present a board state that means he has to get an exact combo to win the game to take us to a tie, and he gets it off of I think it was an N or a Cynthia, and I'm happy to say I played pretty badly this whole weekend, but I think that second game against Tobias I played perfectly, and I lost to him just getting a combo, so I felt pretty sorry after that, so I was 0-1. He played it really well, but it just felt really bad, losing to me doing everything right, and there are a couple. I remember a couple of things in the match, maybe me being like, oh, maybe this was the better line, but at the end of it, the whole round came down to one turn, the very last turn of time, where I think I promoted a Wimpod and forced him to find Choice Band Beast Energy Guzma to use the Baby Dustmane's attack for 230 damage or something, or 170 damage, I think, on a Lele or something crazy like that, and it just felt really, really solid losing like that or tying like that. So I was pretty sorry after that, but hey, round 3 was against this is where it gets kind of confusing. I think round 3 was then against another Zoro Garb, and again it was down to my lack of knowledge in that matchup. He played it really well. I didn't. It was that simple. So I was 0-1-2. 0-2-1, sorry. 5-2-1, we were sure still made points. So at this point, I wanted to drop, but I couldn't. Round 4. No, sorry, I tied the Zoro Garb. Yeah, I tied the Zoro Garb, because then round 4 I played Zoropod Mirror. And again, it was Pendarvis's list. And again, Monkey was insane. We had a really long game 1, a 40-minute game 1, where I was in control. And on the last turn of that game, I threw it. And I was so annoyed at myself. I completely miscalculated some damage. Through an Oranguru active, and he was like, right, well, I'll drop a Mew DCE and knock you out for my last prize. And I was like, well, why didn't I see that? Why didn't I see that? All 4 of his puzzles were gone. He had 1 DCE left. I was like, there's no way he can kill me. Turns out he still had a Mew and a Zoroark left, and I was just like, I was gobsmacked at my own stupidity that I lost to something as simple as that. Because again, it was a game I felt I played really, really well, because like Joe says, with the one Guru, playing against the Carta Magica list is actually really, really good if you have a Guru, because you can just turn into a mill deck and run them out of energy. Yeah. And I felt I played it really, really well. I managed to conceal the Guru until he had 10 cards left in deck. I let him go like 5 prizes ahead or something stupid. I was like, right, well, I'll Guru 3 puzzles whilst taking away 2 of your energy and like counter capturing something like a Gliscod or something stuck in the active. So I knew he couldn't knock me out. Did this for like 3 or 4 turns. He got down to about a 2-card deck, and I just threw the game. So I was super salty after that. Damn. So I was 0-2-2, but again, I still couldn't I still couldn't drop, because I wasn't sure whether 4-2s would make it. I didn't know for sure whether they would. There was also top 64 packs, so at that point there was no reason in me dropping, just in case I could at least get half a box. Round 5, I was against Zoro Rock, so as you'll notice so far, that's been 5 Zoro variants. This game was the one game I won of the weekend. I felt really confident in the Zoro Rock matchup, because that was probably the matchup me and Joe played the most in the days before. We played both sides of it. Mm-hmm. We talked about the lines that both players should play to try and work out how you can play around the Zoro Rock side if they're playing optimally as well. So that was the matchup going into the tournament I felt really, really confident with. I didn't feel confident with Buzzrock, but I felt like I knew what I had to do to beat a Buzzrock. But that and Zoroark felt like the 2 matchups that, even though they would be difficult, I would know exactly what to do in them to best give myself a chance of winning. Game 1, I won. It was quite similar to the Zygarde game on Joe's side, because she had to read Gliscod. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can finally get a win here. But no, even she took that to time. She won game 2 because I completely dead drew. Like, she was able to kill my Zoruas and Zoroarks like turn 2, 3, and 4. So I was like, well, I just can't do anything. If you're just gonna hit the absolute nuts, that's fine. So again, she took it to time, and I won on the last turn of time. I was essentially trading into. I had 3 trades into a 13-card deck, so it was pretty much a 50-50 that I won the game. If I didn't win the game on that turn of time, it would have been a tie. So I knew I again set up a board state where I knew I couldn't lose. It was just, I really, really wanted that win at this point, because I was 0-1-1, no, 0-2-2, sorry. So I really, really wanted this win. So after that round, I was 1-2-2, and again, I couldn't drop, even though I had what I considered was an awful record, because everyone was still playing, so there was no point in me really dropping. Plus, there were still packs on the line, so I was like, right, well, I guess I've got to carry on playing with an 0-2-2 record. Round 6 was against Toadpod, and again, I managed to conceal the Monkey until late game. I felt ahead. This guy was a really, really good player. He was really, really nice. This was another of my really fun games during the day, just because it was a nice, friendly game. Game 1, it's super close. But I managed to win, like I say, because I conceal my Oranguru. So eventually I show my Oranguru and show that I can keep up with him, but I'm like 2 or 3 prizes ahead at this point. So all I need to do is find one knockout for the rest of the game, and there's a Mew on his board, so I know all I've got to do is just bide my time and wait until I draw into the pieces I need, because I know I'm never going to deck out, and he's going to start having to be aggressive against my Iron Guru, so I know I have like 2 turns on him. So I managed to win that game. Game 2, he gets more Zoroarks than me and is able to put more pressure on than I am before he even like starts initiating locks. I think he takes more 4 prizes before I even take a prize. So I'm like, right, well, I'm scooping this up and I'm going to see if I can try and do something similar. And then, as stupidly as it sounds, game 3, I put 7 prizes down. And as soon as I see I've put 7 prizes down, I scoop up and I drop, because I'm like, if I'm that tired and demotivated that I'm not even putting the right amount of prize cards down, I don't deserve packs at this point. So I dropped in a pretty salty manner. I was like, I'm quitting this game. This sucks. Went and sat with Mark and Benji, who had also dropped, reminisced on some old formats, and decided that Zoromir is the bane of my existence. So I was pretty salty after that. But like I say, it was my own, at least the last round was completely my own stupidity. But the two of the rounds I tied, I felt I presented a board state that I should have won from, and, didn't. And 2 of my losses were me not knowing. Well, one of my losses, one of my ties was me presenting a board state that my opponent just happened to have the answer to. Similarly, one of my losses and one of my ties was me not knowing the matchup well enough, which again I will completely take on board. And my win, whilst it was a win, I didn't feel like it was a great win because the player had to read Gallipod GX. So I was like, well, this isn't like it's a big win. It's a win, and I felt really motivated at the time. So I was like, oh my god, I've won a game this weekend. But the whole weekend was just, or at least the whole Saturday, I was just super salty. So yeah, I set myself the challenge of playing Zoro. I think I could have played it better, but at least I've done it now. I think it will be a long time until I play Zoro again in a big tournament. At least, well, I'm glad there's no more tournaments this side of rotation that I've got to play Zoro with, because I think I need 6 months with the deck to get anywhere near good enough to know that I can trust myself in a tournament with it. But that being said, day 2. So after day 1, me and Joe were like, right, we've had so much thinking today. We want to play no thinking.
I was super tired of working so hard and getting rolled by Buzzrocks off of ends to 1 and 2 after killing their artillery. So I was unhappy. Can I just say a few things?
Of course.
Tech Kuzio, how's it going? Reggie Bang, how's it going? Eon, cheers for the follow, and SC, cheers for the 4-month free sub. Yeah, carry on.
Hey. So yeah, me and Joe were just about done with thinking. I think my brain was dead. So we just decided, like, I was almost certain I was going to play Frogs for the Day 2 Cup anyway. But Joe then picked up Frogs. We built a list very similar to the one Benji played on Day 1. We were joking about... we were talking about old Frogs lists and being like, oh, imagine if bursting balloons... do you remember when we played bursting balloons? And me and Joe, I think, both had a light bulb moment at the same time. We just sort of looked at each other. We were like, wait. Bursting balloons are pretty damn good against Buzzrock, aren't they? Because, it's 63 damage on baby buzzers, and if they're attacking you with a GX, then it's pretty much, it's a better choice band. It's a double choice band. So it's doing more to baby buzzers than choice band is, and it's doing double on certain turns against like the Buzz GX if they're going down that route. So let's put 3 in. We played, I think, 58 card mirrors, not mirrors, but 58 cards of the same deck. Yeah. Joe's is on screen now. I didn't play the.
This is actually. So this is like 59 cards different because this has the 3 balloons, the 3 hammers.
Oh, you've gone to the 3 balloon, 3 hammer. Okay.
I just forgot about the Froakie that I played. I was trying to do your list because your one worked. There you go.
So yeah, I didn't play the bubble Froakie. I played 4 of the 7 HP Froakie. Pretty standard everything else. We decided to drop the Lele because the tournament was best of 1. And And in best of one, you pretty much need to have a good start, and starting Lele is never good. Yes, it makes your like mid to late game less consistent, but honestly, your deck's so inconsistent anyway. You might as well just try and get into the game. And the thing that Greninja can do is once it gets into a game, once it sets up, it can easily get back into any game it's in. So we just wanted to get into the game, because as soon as we get into the game, we have such a higher percentage of winning. So we were like, right, forget the Lele. We made a couple of other cuts, which I wasn't initially a fan of, and I actually changed back. We initially had 4 balloon in here and 2 hammer. I then took out one of the balloons for a hammer, which I felt was fine, and even now, talking about it, I think it's still fine. Excuse me. And yeah, me and Joe played pretty much this list. Joe's was, like I say, ever so slightly different, but this is essentially the concept. So yeah, my day 2 cup was like completely the opposite. So I don't remember this at all, really. I went 5-1-1. I think my first round was a Buzz Rock, which was pretty simple as long as you are able to get into Greninjas. Any turn you play down a bursting balloon, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do here. I don't know whether to smack you and take 60, or I don't know whether to pass. And if they ever pass, you have one healthier Greninja, and if they ever hit you, you've essentially done a free giant wolf shuriken. So it's really, really good for Buzz Rock. So yeah, plus the fact that you can completely lock them out. Like, you can just lock a Baby Buzz active, and like as long as you can sustain like 1 or 2 turns of sledgehammers and you can get past that prize, that Baby Buzz is doing 30 a turn, and it's just like whilst taking 60 itself. It's just stupid how good the balloons are for that matchup. So yeah, round 1 was against the Buzz Rock. Round 2 was against I can't remember my exact rounds.
It was Glisspod Garb, wasn't it?
Yes, round 2 was against Golly Garb. I was like, right, well, I'm back to Sadville. So I managed to find the one Golly Garb that also played Dumbbells, I'll have you know.
Oh yeah, that's true. I can confirm that. So
I was like, right, well, I'm 1-1. I need to win out, but somehow I win that game. Essentially, dealing with Garbs is the answer to that matchup, because, like, so I was able to. She set up 2 Trebuchets and evolved 1 Garbatoxin, 1 Trashalanche. Yeah. So I was like, right, well, if I take out the Trashalanche, she's going to get another turn of Ability Lock, so I'm going to need to find another Field Blower. Or if I take out the Garbatoxin, I'm going to probably lose a Greninja, because, I've at this point I've used so many items. The deck uses a lot of items: Evo Sodas, Ultra Balls. I need to use at least one more Field Blower.
Bursting
so
balloons.
Balloons. Her whole deck was hammerable. So there were a lot of items. So I was like, one way or another, I have to take a sack somewhere. I decided to kill the Garbatoxin first, and I'm pretty sure I did lose a Greninja in the process. But then I was able to double snipe the other Garbodor. And at that point, genuinely in that matchup, the least threatening thing is the Glissopods, because they're only really threatening you if they both have a Floatstone on, which she did both have a Floatstone on them, which was nice, or if they are armor pressing you. Well, I never let her armor press me, because as soon as the DC came down, I E-hammered it. So yes, she may have been able to armor press me and knock one of my Greninjas out, but even so, like, she was never able to do it 2 turns in a row with the same energy. I was always able to push for E-hammer to try and stop that, which is really, really important. And then as soon as the Garbodors were dealt with, I was able to waste Field Blower and essentially getting rid of Floatstones. So then, sure, she was putting on Dumbbells, but Dumbbells actually do nothing. Like, yes, they give it a bit more HP, but at that point, Glissopods are doing 60 to you, which is just fine. It's so fine, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that was a stupidly hard matchup, especially to find it in a best of 1. I was like, right, this is over. I'm leaving. But hey, I was able to pull a win out from there. I think everyone, when I went over to them, was in shock. Everyone was like, I was like, did you guys see what I was playing? And everyone's like, yeah, golly garb, that nice one record. I was like, no, hold on. What would you say if I told you I was 2-0? And I think everyone's jaws hit the floor because it's just such a bad matchup.
Doesn't happen.
But hey,
just doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen. Round 3, I was against Zoro Rock, the same Zoro Rock player that I played day 1, and unfortunately I did get that one Greninja brick. I was lucky to only get one during the day, I must admit.
Oh yeah, you were.
But like it was just a game where there was nothing I could do because Greninja bricked. I did actually, unfortunately, it didn't brick until turn 3, which was dumb because I managed to get the turn 1-2 Froakie and turn 1-4, turn 2-4 Frogadier on the board, and turn 3 I missed the Greninja. So I was like, right, well, all of the difficult stuff worked. I just happened to then, I think, end into no draw support, no search, and no physical Greninjas. So then top deck won the next turn, and by then she was too far ahead. So I wasn't salty at all because I was the one that sleeved up Greninja. You know, I was like, this is my own fault. I didn't feel Lego bricks. I didn't feel salty at all. I was like, I knew what I was signing up for when I sleeved up Greninja, so you can't really be salty. Round 4 was against another Buzzrock, and again that was it. Like the balloons made all the difference. It's really, really important. Round 5 was against a Zoropod, and again I think this is naturally quite a hard matchup, especially if the Zoropod player is good. I as a Zoropod player still pretty sure haven't beaten Frogs though, so again that tells you what I am as a Zoropod player. But yeah, it was really, really close actually. There was a turn where I had to Moonlight Slash and stop the stitching lock to keep myself in the game, because if I didn't, I essentially had to knock out this Galissapod, because this Galissapod was the only thing that was doing anything to me. But you know, the Galissapod had to be knocked out that turn, because otherwise I just didn't have enough Greninjas for the rest of the game. So I had to stop the stitching lock and Moonlight Slash instead. I was able to, I think, end him down to super low hand size. I think he had 2 prizes left at that point. He still had some Zoroarks on play, so he could have still drawn out of it, but there was no way he was knocking me out that turn, knocking the Greninja in the active that turn. He had to Guzma, and so it essentially meant he had to, I think he had like 7 cards and a relatively large deck to find Guzma plus DCE, plus Galissa, plus Rescue Stretcher, or he would have needed double puzzles, because earlier on in the game he'd Evo Soda to try and evolve a Wimpod and failed it. And I knew he wasn't just, or like you could tell he wasn't just failing it, because it was the right play to do, because it would have got him a knockout, but he failed it, so I knew it was prized. And that Wimpod was just sat on his board for about 3 turns, so I was like, right, I feel relatively confident he doesn't have this Galissapod in deck. So what he needs from like 7 cards after trades is essentially like double puzzle plus energy plus Guzma. So I was like, I have to, stop the stitching lock just to stay in this game, and he missed it. So it was the one turn I was able to get away with it, and I did. And because that Galissapod was prized, he was never then able to set up an attacker, because he'd used all 4 of his puzzles. He was then, or later on after that turn, he was never then able to set up an attacker that could one-shot me. Because I knew his Galissapod was prized, I knew I was pretty safe, and it was just a matter of time. So yeah, that was my round 5. Round 6 was another Buzzrock, which again was just balloons doing work. Like it's so stupid to say the matchup is so dependent on balloons. It's not like there's much to say. It's just, attaching a balloon to a Greninja, on a turn where they want to do 120 to you is just such a put off for them to then want to sledgehammer, because it's just leading them into getting knocked out next turn as well. And if a Greninja is trading a prize with a Buzzrock, but also getting you out of sledgehammer range, you really don't mind doing that, because you're usually getting to like 1 or 2 snipes off at the same time. So it feels like there's not much to say about the Buzzrock matchup. The balloons are just OP, really. And then round 7, So round 7, I was 5-1, but at this point, I was like, right, I think I can ID into cut. I think 1 misses, but we'll see what happens. I sit down. Oh, sorry, the round before. So the round before, when I'm 4-1, we all get paired up. My opponent doesn't show up. Then a judge comes over, says your opponent had a deck list error, which means he'd get a game 1 loss. But because this is best of 1, you automatically get the round win. Just wait here for the slip. So I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm 5-1. I can ID into cut. And then about 2 minutes later, the words "hole repairing" are announced, and I honestly want to hit my head off the desk. Because I was like, there's no way I'm getting, it's just fate that I'm not going to get paired into this guy again. And I didn't. Simone Soldo, the other Greninja player on my record, got paired into him. So I had to watch him get a free win next to me whilst I had another Buzzrock. But hey, it's fine. I was salty, but I managed to beat the Buzzrock anyway. So
having to win games feels bad, man. Feels bad. That.
So yeah, then round 7, I was like, right, well, I can probably ID in. I think 1 misses. It'll kind of depend on my matchup. Again, then Simone Soldo sits down in front of me, and I know he's playing Greninja because I've sat next to him the whole day.
Yeah, since round 1. Since round 1.
He sat between me and Joe round 1, and we all pointed at each other's decks and just smiled. And honestly, me and him have been I've been dodging him all day. I've been sat next to him 4 rounds in a row. Luke played him when I was on top table against the Zoroark that I lost to. There was 1 round where we went on the same record, and it was after that round. He won against Luke when I lost, and then I won and he lost his next round. So pretty much all but 1 round we were sitting next to each other, so I knew exactly what he was playing. He knew I was playing Greninja. I'm pretty sure he hadn't seen any bursting balloons yet, because he sits down, and I'm like, right, well, I don't want to play a Greninja Mirror, especially as a winning in, so I'm going to offer the ID, and 1 bubbles. If I bubble, I've saved myself at least half an hour of headache, because yes, we should be favourable.
Super favourable.
But at the same time, it's a Greninja Mirror, so I was like, you know what, we can take the ID. He thinks about it for a little bit, and then decides to ID. The rest of the table play, or the rest of the tables below us play, and unfortunately I bubble 9th. So looks like I should have played it, especially as I theoretically have a favourable Greninja matchup.
Super favourable.
He said to me, this is going to be a pretty bad game for either of us, because we both play 3 Enhanced Hammer, and we both play 2 Max Potion, right? And I was like, yeah, we do. And he didn't mention the bursting balloons, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe he doesn't know about the bursting balloons. But you live and learn. Maybe I should have taken it, but it's still, it's been a long time since I played Greninja, and I was just happy to do as well as I had. So I was pretty salty that I didn't make top 8, considering I think top 8 was there was 6 good matchups I think in there, which was so sad. There was towards Lonzoro, which I think I was favourable against. There was Benji's Glaceon, which I think I was favourable against. There was 3 Buzzrocks, which I'd beaten 3 Buzzrocks during the day. So I was like, okay, they can go a bit more aggressive in best of 3. But at the end of the day, I've beaten 3. So and in a best of 3, I'm going first at least once. I think I'd gone second in every single one of my Buzzrocks. I was like, I'm going first at least once. So yes, they'll get the first attack in, but I should still hopefully be fine in a best of 3 against Buzzrock. And then there was one, I think there was one other Zoro variant.
It was Buzzgarb.
So then there was a Buzzgarb, which I think was a really bad matchup. The more I thought about it as we were leaving the venue, I was like, okay, this seems like a really bad matchup.
Yeah, and then it was the other Greninja, right?
And then there was the other Greninja. So I think that could have genuinely been my first ever cup win if I'd made it in. But you can't really say that. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Honestly, I was happy to make points, especially after the abomination that was my day 1. I would completely go back and do the event again. I wouldn't play Zoropod. I don't think I learned enough for me to justify that kind of record. I should have stuck with the Zoro Gallade, because even if I wouldn't have done as well, I wouldn't have been able to. I think me as a player, I can do better with a tier 1 deck like Zoropod. So to get a trash tier record, I should have been playing trash, and I wasn't playing trash. I was playing trash as a player, but I wasn't playing a trash deck. So that's what I was the most salty about. I got a bad record with a deck that I should be getting a good record with. So I would 100% go back and play Zoro Gallade, and I'm hoping Joe will show the list a little bit later on, because the list is honestly fire. But I at least made points. I'm hoping that it's at least the start of me being able to... My goal for this year is to have my invite before Christmas, so I can unfortunately stop playing to pass my exams, pass my final year exams. So at least I'm headed in the right direction for that. After day 1, I was super salty, but I was pretty happy to at least not have had a wasted weekend, and at least made points. In general, the weekend was fantastic, but I think I haven't been saltier in a tournament after that than I have been in a long time after day 1. And because it's like the third big tournament in a row that I haven't made points at. When, yes, one of them I played memes, but the other 2 I played Buzzrock in Sheffield, and I think I should have at least top 64 with it, because the deck is good enough to top 64. Like, anyone can top 64 with that deck, except Joe, because he can't play it apparently.
Mate, I'm sick of it now. I played so much Buzzrock in Valencia.
Malmo, I played like Magna Zone, so I didn't deserve points there, and I'm happy to admit that. But it was just, I should have done better with such a good deck. So I was salty, but at least day 2 somewhat calmed the salt, because I still got 20 points in 9 packs, and my packs were fire as well. I pulled a Rainbow Naganadel, which spoilers, Naganadel was probably really good next year. So it was an average weekend. I could have done better, but I can't say I was disappointed, because I did at least come away with points.
Yeah.
5th in the UK. We'll take that.
Cheers, Bob McDougall, for all the cheers. Quick notes from my day 2 of Frogs. So it's the first time I've ever played Frogs at a tournament. I'm an active hater of Frogs, but I'm an active lover of balloons. So thought we'd play memes. I went 4-3. My 3 losses were to a straight Mally with Tina, which is fine. Lost to a Bulu, which is fine. They played belts. And lost to a Buzzrock because I bubble passed and died. Woo! My wins still included dead draws. I almost lost to a complete beginner who had Numels in his deck, because I was passing too long, but I eventually hit... Oh, go on, what?
Can you get Numel on the screen, just so we know what it does?
Just so we know what it does. Here's the thing, right? There was a genuine...
Joe doesn't own any.
There was a genuine loss condition for me in this matchup. And that's what shows you how bad Greninja is as a deck, right? I almost lost to... Which Numel was it? It was this Numel, right? And it was this Camerupt. He got it out. Consistent deck. It was this Camerupt that I almost lost to, because they played a supporter card known as Mars. And Mars lets them draw 2 cards, and also discards a random card from my hand. Turn 1, I Ultra away 2 Greninjas, because I have Super Rod and Sycamore in hand. So I'm like, fine, I'll just cycle these. They whip out the Mars. I panic, because I have 4 cards in hand. I have the Super Rod, the Max Potion, Sycamore, and I think it's a balloon or something like that. So I am panicking as soon as I see this Mars. They lead a Rockruff.
Got shuffle in his hand.
They led Rockruff, so I thought it was a normal deck. But then they benched the Numel and stuff, and then played the Mars, and I was like, what's about to happen here? So I shuffle up my hand. Luckily, they missed the Sycamore. They did hit the Super Rod, which made life annoying, but... yeah, if they hit that Sycamore, I'm pretty sure I get continuous headbutted to death by a Camerupt. So I genuinely could have lost to a beginner playing this deck, and that shows you the power level of Frogs. But it was really fun playing the balloons. I was pretty salty about my loss to Buzzrock because I just couldn't do anything, and I knew balloons were quality against this deck because Benji was testing a lot of Greninja over the weekend, and we tested against Buzzrock a few times, and it was always close. So it was cool that we figured out the way to make Buzzrock not close for frogs, as long as you set up. And it was sad that I was at that point I had already had 2 losses, I think. So I had to just keep winning to even get to like top 16. And that was like my round like 5 or 6, and I was like, oh, finally a Buzzrock, let's go, and then just nothing. So feels bad, man. But anyway,
what were some of the best reactions you got to balloons? Because there was 2 notable ones I remember personally.
My favourite was actually just from Pedro, who was just sort of watching over my shoulder, and he saw me attach a splash to a Froakie, and then attach a balloon and Cynthia, and he couldn't stop laughing, basically. He couldn't stop himself, and then I burst out laughing, and the opponent just like looks around like, what's going on? That was pretty good.
Pedro is another of mine. He was in my round when I was playing against Zoroark. I think he knew the player I was playing against. He had a really quick game because this was pretty early.
Yeah.
And I hadn't developed a Greninja, so I had to protect this Frogadier.
Yeah.
So again, I just slid a balloon on, and he was walking past. He was just sort of observing the game. And he had a double take. He looked at the balloon, and honestly, he did like a comedy slide back to the table. He didn't move for the rest of the game. He was just stared at my board.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
And the other one was Todd's friend Jens. He's a VG player, but he's a really good TCG player as well. And I was talking to him between one of the rounds. I think it was after I'd ID'd, so we had time to chat. And he was like, "Oh, so you're playing balloons?" I was like, "Yeah." And max potions. And E-hammers, and his jaw got lower and lower. He was like, how did you have the space? I need this list. I was like, yeah, it's all yours, don't worry.
So there's the secret. Secret's out. It was cool to have one ride with Greninja at least, but I can safely say it's not a deck that I would ever touch again. Ever. Poggers. So
I'm glad I got to play it one more time before rotation. Because Greninja's like kind of close to my heart, so I would have been upset if I couldn't play it again, because it's actually earned me a lot of points. But back when Greninja was good, before it was like now it's memey.
Good, you say. Come on.
Back when Greninja was good, when I had dive balls and level balls and stuff, and it was actually consistent, that it earned me 150 points at that Nats. So I personally felt quite close to the deck, so I was glad I was able to play it again. And then when Joe pretty much threw his deck on the table, was like, right, I'm playing Greninja, I'm going to bed. I was like, yes, I'm so glad someone else is here.
Right, let's build Zoroark, Jack. Can you remember how it was built?
I can get the list up on my phone now. Sent it to James, I think.
Was it 3 Glades? It was, right?
Yes, it was 3 Glades. Remember Time War Greninja? Yeah, I also played Time War Greninja. So I played a lot of Greninja over the past 3 years. So I'm glad I got to play it one more time. I won't be sad it's going, but I did enjoy the deck.
I think I'm close. Did we play Max Potion in the end, or did we cut it?
The list isn't loading.
Did you play 1 Mew or 2?
We played 1 Mew, I think.
Yeah.
I think we did play Max Potion. Scroll. Friday. Okay, here we are.
No, we played this.
Okay, let's compare this list. So yeah, 4-4. We played a Guru, I think.
Oh, we did play Guru?
No, wait, did we? No, I don't think we did in the end, did we? Because we were like,
No, we were like, we'll just dead them.
yeah, we'll just kill them.
I'm at 59. I can't remember our last card.
Did
Did we play Stretcher or no? Don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
We cut Parallel.
We didn't play Parallels. We played. Have you got 3 Guzma? We played 3
Guzma. Yeah, that sounds like. Time Ball over Evo Soda? Possibly, but the main reason you played the Evo Soda was because we played 2 Mallow, so you want to secure the exact Zoro arc. Time Ball, Flippy. I mean, you can consider it just for hitting Rare Candy combo. It's reasonable, but it's not guaranteed better. Laxative, how's it going? Yeah, we could have played Timer Ball, but after playing a lot of Zoro Rock, Jack didn't want to play Timer Ball.
How many double tails did I flip on that card that weekend?
Too many. At least like 4 times it happened that really mattered.
Yeah.
And you only needed 1 heads.
Because that was another thing. We had all of Wednesday and all of Thursday where we were just solidly playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only time I think you lot weren't was when the World Cup was on, but even then I was playing with Jens, Mark and Tord, so yeah. Like I was playing Pokemon for like 4 days solidly. Plus we cubed like some of the nights as well, so it was essentially 6 days of just playing Pokemon, which, as much as that sounds amazing, it's actually really difficult.
Yeah. So the Zorglade has like a pretty awkward... It has some pretty awkward matchups, but we were just like, you know what, there was so much Zoro at the NAIC, and Zoro dominated the top cut. We were like, we'll just try and farm them. That was the idea. But realistically, it's probably too linear to be that strong. That's why I jumped ship at the very least. I was like, I'll face random stuff and just lose. Oh well.
Which you did, but I faced 6 Zoroark decks in a row. Obviously, my day would have been different.
5 Buzzrocks, so I'm glad I didn't take Zorglade.
Yeah, obviously my day would have been different if, like, I'd won early games and stuff like that. But the fact I came out of round 6 after my 6 Zoro matchup, I was like, why am I not playing brown cards right now?
Yeah.
But hey, like I say, you live and you learn.
And then you see tournament reports like Fabian Puyol, who faced like every Malamar in the entire room because Malamar was not popular, and he faced.
There were literally
6.
3, and he faced all of them.
No, he
he faced 6, didn't he?
6.
Fabian, you jam. You're a good player, but you're a jam.
That is a jam Swiss. That is unreal amounts of Mally. Water Psychic, could it be? Froggos? Oh my god, it's frogs. See, these are the times where you're like, god damn, why am I just playing Pod? What we got to do is try and rush out our Gallade. That's what you always need to do. Ah!
It's not frogs, is it?
I don't know. It was blue and Psychic.
Yeah, but there's a Remoraid.
They can still play it.
But then they've got to cut the bursting balloons, Joe. That doesn't sound right.
No, where are they finding these spaces from?
Honestly,
I think it was Lapras. Yeah, Lapras is more likely.
Honestly, I put the bursting balloons in before I put the Frogadiers in.
You did not. I was balloon man. You were having none of it.
I was pretty soon to be on board, to be fair. I wanted to cut choice bands.
Yeah, you wanted to cut bands. Remember, guys, 4 Bursting Bloom was in 2 Worlds decks. That's some trivia for you. What 2 Worlds printed decks had 4 Bursting Blooms in? Jack, do you know the answer?
I think you told me this weekend. I don't want to say, but I think you told me this weekend.
Joe was like, guys, I got a binder full of balloons. There's enough here for everyone. Pretty much. Pretty much. You get a balloon. You get a balloon. You get
The real one last ride would have been Mega Guardy.
Ninja talent and something else. Yeah, the something else is that's the puzzle that you got to try and solve. Something Jesper Eriksson. Ugh. Okay, we'll just mallow it up next time. Mallow it up. You erase that deck from your head, it doesn't exist / count. Jesper made a good meta call because he beat exactly Night March and exactly Seismitoad. And that's all you had to do at that tournament. Literally, that was it. For the seniors. Now then, we don't really want to mallow because we got a Lele trapped here in the old active position. So our best move is trying to Guzma up this Sushi Master. And to do that, we're gonna try and draw some cards. Max what is good, but it's all gotta go really. What's our alternative here? No, it doesn't look like there's any alternatives. There's no point in us mallowing, right? We can hold the mallow for next turn. I'll just get rid of the Ultra Ball. We're gonna have to hold a eulogy for balloons. Yeah, agree. Yeah, no Guzma, feels bad. Yeah, the rotation video will basically just be me talking about the impact of balloon rotating. Going into Worlds is towards Zoro and Zoro Garb Tier 1. We'll be getting on to Worlds chat in about 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe after this game. But they're Tier 1 now. Probably. Ooh, poggers. Thanks for all the bits, Benji, and thanks for the resub as well, dudes. Hope you enjoy the gym jam. Yeah. Do I need to mallow back a Lele just for bench? We don't play Choice Band. Maybe instead of mallowing for the Pokemon, instead of mallowing for the DC, we just get the DC back this way. So we mallow. Just grab ourselves these two. Do a little swampsy. How many balloons in Buzzrock? None in Buzzrock. Mirror Tech though. Oh yes. Boggers. Balloons in every deck. All the time. We'll look at our top 5 before we make our puzzle decision, I guess. So we want something we can insta-trade. Oh my god, this hand is insane. Okay, we can insta-trade away a Candy, which gets us into our next DC Guzma, which sounds really good. And then we just want these. What other decks can we play balloons in? Happy face. It's correct in every deck. That's the problem. That's the plight. So we already have Guzma. We already have DC. Let's grab probably N. Yeah, N sounds good. Apparently World's emails went out in the last hour. I'll have to check that after the stream. Why did Zoragard with balloons fall off? I think just because Buzzrock got so much stronger, there was more reason to play choice bands onto your Garbodors to threaten them very early, even with a low item usage. Because before you could handle Buzzrock reasonably well because they couldn't burst out all these baby buzzes that could threaten knockouts on Zoroark GXs. So it's a lot more of a difficult matchup now than it was previously. So ooh, Guzmering, that sounds juicy. Balloons are just worse because the lock doesn't stick as well. I still disagree with that. I know Ivanov and Fabian have done very well with non-balloon builds, but you need to have a very specific hand to actually activate your own Garbodor when you don't play balloons. Because not only do you need to already have a supporter in hand and a DC for next turn and like a switching option for the following turn, or sorry, you need all those things. But if you're playing the balloon build, you just whap a balloon on and you're happy because you know that that's going and you can just trade into everything you need the following turn. So I think you need to play balloonless at the moment just because of the meta, not because it's just strictly worse, which is what they have always thought. I don't think that's right. But I'm the balloon fanboy, so what do I know? I have played a lot of Zoro Garb though. And I always felt that you need to, off of like your first like 3 trades, if you realistically want to lock turn 2, your first 3 trades need to be absolute nectar to make it work. One man's opinion. Opinion.me. Ooh, does Blower help me here? How have they not put any choice bands on this board yet? It's like everything the deck tries to do. Lid. Pew pew. I actually want to reset this first, right? Yes. Because we want to have a chance of getting a Gallade out. Because we'll be Galading their Manaphy, and that'll be pretty pog. You can always blow away your own item if you really need to trade. You can't always. You only play 3 copies. So that's just a lie. I don't know. It's my own experience with the deck. I've logged a lot of games of Zoragab with both builds. And I found it much easier to get to terms with the build where you can always trade after. Because trade's a good ability. Turns out. So, I dropped the deck as soon as I couldn't play balloons in it, but obviously they're happy to basically play it as if it's Golly Garb, but you can trade at some points in the game, which is very appealing. It's just not as appealing as being a Zoroark deck that can lock on turns. You know, it's a different mentality to the deck entirely, really. Benji says Zorogarb's not even a real deck. Unreal. Blasphemy. Okay, let's do some trading. The Real Butter, how's it going? This feels like a good blower. Benji, please. Benji, not a fan of the deck, clearly. I mean, to be fair, both Fabian and Ivanov only played, I think, they only played one, what's it called? One Buzzrock each in day one of Swiss, which is really high-rolling, poggers-tastic, as it is one of the more awkward matchups by a long shot. So, Pog, feels good, man, all that stuff. I don't really want to trade here. I think keeping an N is more important than drawing a card that we don't play anyway this turn. Compared with facing against Floatstone build, and you see a Field Blower, players immediately want to Field Blower the Floatstone away as well. That's true, but the Bloom build also does play Floatstone, you know? So, I know there's that huge debate, but like, it just doesn't make sense in my head. I don't know, I'm an opinionated Zoro Garb player after playing it a lot. And I never liked the Zoro Pod matchup, and I didn't like the Buzzrock matchup enough either, so... One man's opinion, but Ivanov has already won a special and an Internats with it. And Fabian has also had a lot of points with the deck as well, so... What do I know? Explained it perfectly when I said the different decks. They are. It's completely different mentalities. So we should trade before the Prem at least once, because we're accessing our entire deck this way. Oops. Is our entire deck? No, we missed the bottom two cards by doing it this way. Poggers. Thoughts on Zorak Bennett for Worlds? I think it's a very reasonable deck. It'll be a discussion for 1 or 2 minutes time. Why Zorak Gallade? Simply, it was a deck that we were thinking of playing for Valencia, just to prey on the hype of Zoro post NAIC. You wouldn't want to play a Zoro Bennett deck in a tournament filled with other Zoroark decks. I think the Bennett line would be thin, probably thinner than Glissypod, maybe 2-2, maybe as thin as 2-1, because you got to fit a lot of stuff in for Worlds. You got to attack for Ray, not lose to Spread, and not lose Mirrors, so you got to have like Eat Hammers, Max Potions, all that stuff, so... I agree that Bayonet is going to have to be a thin line if you do play it at all, and it's going to be a lot to throw everything all into one list. So I'm going to quickly go to the toilet, and I'll put up the Zoro Gallade list just for funsies, and then we will get the spreadsheet rolling, and we'll talk about Worlds in detail. What happened to the Volt testing?
Realised it's worse than Lapras and that Lapras is bad.
And when I say Lapras is bad, I mean bad in the field of Zoroark, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Otherwise, broken. Right, where's Jack gone? I swear he's been here the whole time, but he's just not talking.
I've genuinely had my mic muted.
Unreal.
Whoops.
Anything to add, Jack?
Oh, I've just been chatting to everyone in the stream. Oh dear. So the real butter, in answer to your question, was we played Zoropod Day 1 and Greninja Balloons Day 2. Thought I'd answered it. Turned out I was just speaking to myself. Benji, Zoro Octillery didn't make top 8. It was Gallade Octillery with a 1-1 BKT Zoro.
Oh, we should actually look. We could look at the top 32. Oh no, they only have a top 8 on Limitless, don't they? Do you reckon
think
it's
so,
worth
yeah.
looking at the top 8 of? Nah, it's an old format now. It's gone. It's behind us.
It's the last format it's ever going to be relevant in. It's the last format it's ever going to be relevant in, so honestly, the sooner rotation comes for me, the better. I don't want to look at that trash.
Okay, what you're looking at is a sneak peek of a video that's going up tomorrow
Even I haven't seen this.
of Rayquaza GX and its matchups. The reason I pulled up this slide, or this thing at all, is because these are the sort of decks we're thinking of for our thing. So I will just give you this sneak peek, and then I'm going to throw it to the side so I can add this onto a spreadsheet. So do we think there's any other decks that I need to add to this before we start having our big brainstorm for Worlds? Are there any new decks that you guys think is worth discussing that isn't on this side of the screen? Are there any other lower tier decks that I need to add into the mixer as well? Let me know what you guys think. This is also here. This is like a basis of the stuff that's on our radar that we're going to be uploading over the next like 2 weeks. So let us know if you want any other decks to be part of this thing. Gallade Octillery is on here. It's just snuck in there. Persimmon. Any metal deck. I have Stack Attacker Celesteela and Stack Attacker Naganadel. I don't have like turbo metals, I guess. Its performance has been terrible. Ludicolo Zoro, that's something that we are going to build actually. I just didn't put it on here because I don't think it's super top tier, but we can talk about that. Probably worse than Zoro Shiftry in theory. Coco Spread would be a very good choice for Worlds, and it beats Ray with Bebe Lele that's fairy. The thing is, Spread can be countered quite easily, but Spread stuff is on the list. Quad Hooper. At the moment I have Yveltal Break Hooper. I imagine that would be going forward the most popular build. Quad Hooper was 9th. Yeah, like I said, I've sort of wrapped it into Yveltal Break Hooper. What does Ludicolo do? It allows you to draw a card each turn, and for water DCE, it does 70 plus 10 for each Pokemon in play except itself. So it can get big one-hit KOs, but so can Shiftry. The upside of Ludicolo is that you get additional draw cards, and you get Aqua Patch usage. The downside is it's squishier than a Shiftry, and it doesn't help you deal with Lycanroc if they can limit their own bench. What the red cross is for? Just the matchups themselves for Ray, just because I'm using this for the Ray slide. I'm only showing you this quickly just in case there's any ideas that we missed. I'll bung it to the side quickly, and then I will paste this into our thing on the side here. So I do need to have Zora Ludicolo, yeah, that's on here. Spread, stacker, stealer, stacker, okay, so I need to pull this down and add in lower tier stuff. Give me un segundo. Okay. So as always, one of our favorite things to do is try and look at the meta and see how it's going to shape up post new set. So this is going to be a useful exercise. Always good to do this before you even start testing, because it can really localize your testing. It can make you think about what decks from the outset don't look good and which are worth pursuing. So, oh, Jack's here. Hello.
Hello.
Oops. I've got Lapras up there because we had it in our top 10. I'm going to split Zorogarb and Zorocario for the purposes of this thing, especially because Zorogarb did so well in its own right at the NAIC, because this is all pre-NAIC. This is our top 10 for the NAIC, right?
Yeah.
Even though there are some differences, of course. This was the latest point that we had all of our stats done. And I don't think... Oh, the only other thing I need to add to the top tier stuff is Tord Zoro.
Just quickly, Joe, we should just mention the OmniPoke draft.
You can go for it.
Well, there's a sheet for it if you want to just quickly throw it on the screen.
Where is it?
Right at the start. I haven't named it. It's sheet 31 because I plan on deleting it as soon as we discussed it.
Oh my god, poggers.
Because I know 100 people want to know this.
Shepherd pizza's in the oven.
So yeah, these are the results. Tord unfortunately lost and was actually willing to play his meme deck in the Cup Day 2. Turns out he ended up winning it with Lonzaro because unfortunately we weren't able to get all the cards for him. But he still seems pretty happy to play it, so it'll happen. But yeah, you can see the results here. I'm not going to go into everything in detail. Just grab a screenshot real quick if you want to have if you want to know or want to look further into it. Benji, you did insane. You got 3 top 8ers, and then Fabian, who obviously got 9. No, yeah, he top 8'd. It was Valencia who got 9. So yeah, you got 4 top 8s in your team, so well done for that. That's pretty good. Joe and Tord were on pretty even footing up until Tord beat Jimmy. And Tord beating Jimmy actually meant that he lost the draft because it meant Jimmy didn't only got 300 points. If Jimmy had got 400 points, Joe would have lost. But I guess I suppose being the all-time #1 most play points and the highest placing in the world this year and also $5,000 is probably a little bit better than.
It's a good consolation, I think.
Yeah.
I think he misplayed, but
each to their own, I guess.
Each to their own. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, that's that.
So sad that Hawkins got Mario Partied away from me. Feels bad, man. Although Magnus still got me a clean hundo. Anyway. Where were we? World's better. Yes. Tord skips NIC so we can win the draft. Yeah. I was already cheering for Tord in that in that top 4 game, but even more so because I didn't really want to play with Magikarps.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out I decided to play frogs anyway, so
Whoops.
may as well have just played the carps. Probably would have done better. I went positive for frogs. Can't feel that salty. Positive is all you can expect with frogs, really. Zoro, Weavile, and Vikabulu. Okay, lots of decks. Okay, we'll do the usual thing of looking at new additions from the sets, new threats, etc. And yeah, so Buzzrock doesn't really gain much. I think if it's going to play anything, it'll play the Regirock. And I can't spell rock. Can we think of any other additions for Buzzrock, Jack? Do you think it'll play Copycat or nah?
I think it could play. Oh, you've mentioned the original. Yeah, I don't think there's anything really. Maybe no, nothing like stuff like Copycat over one of the Shuffle supporters. I think is not majorly relevant. If I think it'll be a preference thing, but I think the only potential threat it could now play is Regirock. Regirock is a good card.
Yeah. What other awkward stuff? Yeah, those are the big new threats. So Buzzrock is sort of on strange footing going into Worlds. A lot less, although it does feel safe because there's going to be a bunch of Zoro guaranteed in all different forms. There are the new headaches of Sceptile, Banette coming out, and Stakataka with Naganadel. Doesn't appreciate any of those too much, so that's something to be aware of. Zoro Rock doesn't really gain much either, I don't think, from the top of my head. Any cards do you think Zoro Rock gains, Jack, in particular?
Rock. No, I mean there's an argument for every Zoro variant to play Mancargo, but I think right now there's nothing that sticks out really.
No, good point. Deoxys. I think Deoxys, while Mewtwo's still in the format, there's not much reason to play it. Copycat, Friend Ball. I don't think you'll play Friend Ball. I think Friend Ball's a very bad card. Potentially Copycat, I guess. But if you're the Zoro variant, you're probably not wanting to shuffle draw too much anyway. You'll just be getting... You'd rather N a Zoro Mirror player, because if their hand is that size, you want to get rid of that hand. And you can get your own hand size bigger. Favorite partners for Bayonet other than Zoroark? You're thinking Drampa. I'm thinking you want to play some like Rainbow Unit Energy shenanigans with some of the metal stuff, maybe some of the fighting stuff to try and have an answer to Zoroark, but your Zoroark's always going to be pretty horrible. So I don't know too much. Other than the fact that you've got to play a bunch of supporter cards, probably like Acrobikes, Treasures, and Ultra Balls just to bin stuff. Awkward matchups for Zoro Rock, I think, include not too much. You know, it's Zoro. The Zoro decks can deal with pretty much anything.
I can't think of anything super awkward. It feels like it has a lot of 50-50s.
Nothing that you're super afraid of the new stuff. Turbo Ray feels kind of awkward, but you can detonate one and then like try and lock parallel and make that work. If the Rayquaza's player is playing green stuff in their deck, like Pheromoses or Bulus, that's when it becomes sticky. But I don't think there's anything that you're like, oh man, don't let me face that. So we'll leave that for now. Mali does gain Copycat. I think this is a perfect card for the Mali decks. I think.
Copycat?
Yeah. The same. I don't know. Why have I done that? Why have I done it like that? Just because Mali lives on no hand, so you're basically always plussing from Copycat, which is pretty reasonable. And stuff like Ultra Squids needs to pop off against Zoro, so I think that's kind of nice. Bad matchups. I mean, Zoro Bennett is going to be, like, just more Zoro variants coming out is going to be a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Stacker Stealer is also going to be really difficult just because they resist and have the walls. So Stacker stuff, I guess not so much for the Ultra Squids, but for
regular Mally.
Regular Psychic Mally. More Zoro Arc variations will be played. Spread is also really bad for this deck. You don't really want to put a Mime on your board because you're such a board-centric deck already, but you really don't want to put a Mime in here, so this is going to suck against Spread too, especially if they're playing Latios.
Oh, yes.
So an increase in Spread really sucks for Malamar, so Mali looks bad for Worlds. Like, super bad. I think the only deck that it wants to come up against is like Bayonet, and that's about it. Pod, obviously gains Mag Cargo as a possibility. I should put it as Rock, but I think Rock just has no space. Ultimately, I don't think Pod has a lot of space for Mag Cargo either, but we're going to put it in here as a potential addition.
It was tight when we were trying to put it in yesterday.
Yeah.
There's some awkward cuts.
Yeah, and the thing is, for Pod, it actually needs to make adjustments anyway because of Rayquaza and Spread. Oh, I should put Spread in here as a threat for Zoro Rock. Because the Shrine comes out, it means Coco plus Shrine is just so much pressure. Now they need 2 Flying Flips to be threatening Devolve, and that is hideous. And even if they're not going for the Devolve play, they're getting so much more damage on the board. The Lele turn comes in a lot quicker and is a lot more aggressive. So I think Zoropod can beat Spread, just with it's sort of like if you go more towards Zoro, where you're playing Max Potions, Acerolas, and like 2 Parallel. Don't think it'll be a huge problem, but I think for possibly Rock and Pod, where you're playing less heal cards, kind of awkward for you. So that's something to be aware of. Rayquaza obviously is easily teched, but it's spaces in the deck. Spaces are spaces after all. I don't think there's anything else that's too scary for you. I think the stack attacker stuff feels fairly even. I don't think it's an outright like threat for the deck, so we're not going to put that as a problem. Greninja gains nothing, right? It gains potential to play.
No, gains nothing.
Copycat, but that's about it. Yeah, nothing. New threats. I mean, Rayquaza should be a really bad matchup if they play 1 grass Pokemon, which I advise. Stack attacker stuff doesn't sound that bad. Zoro Shiftry sounds like a new awkward thing, especially if they get it off pre-stitching, but nothing too horrible for Frogs. To be honest, I think Frogs doesn't have the worst placement for Worlds. Because there'll be people...
You guys heard it. Joe's playing Frogs or Hoods.
There'll be people deviating from Pod to go to these other Zoro builds, which is a good thing. And you're only really worried about Ray that plays like Bulu or Pheromosa, and there won't be every Ray doing that, I don't think. So Greninja with balloons, boys. Let's make it happen. Let's high roll the hell out of everyone. Zorogarb gains the Celesteela, which is a really cool one-off that you can use with unit energy to hit 190. That, I think, is actually a really, really big deal. Zorogarb getting a big buff, I think, with a not obvious include. So I think that's really good for Zorogarb. That's something to be aware of. New threats, I mean, you have the Garb stuff for all this jank. Turbo Ray probably an issue. No, that's fine because you play trash. Yeah. You're pretty good against the field. You play less healing stuff, so I guess the spread is an awkward thing again. Spread and dead. But that's about it. Yeah, Destroy King, I agree. Everyone's just said, like, oh, it's fine, we have Sylveon EX, but it's still a space in your deck, and you still need to, like, Zoropod currently only plays one choice band, so it's another space to fit in second or third choice band. Mm-hmm. It's all space, it's all relevant, and these spaces currently are being focused all in to make your Buzzrock 50-50, and if you're stripping these away, you're making your Buzzrock a 40% or worse matchup, just to cover these annoying bases. So having to fit in a Mime, like we saw Tord do right at the start in London, and having to fit in like the Sylveon, it just makes you a lot clunkier of a deck overall. These are spaces you don't want to dedicate towards, but you might have to. So bear that in mind. Espeon Garb sounds pretty awkward to me. I think there's actually a reasonable chance that Banette Garb could be a thing. I think you have a really bad Zoroark, but so does Espeon Garb. So, you know, let's try and make a deck Banette Garb that's stronger than Espeon Garb. It feels like it could be almost like, again, like Gliscod Garb, where you're doing more damage than Espeon for less energy, so you have more space for other stuff. Mm-hmm. It feels reasonable. Let's put that down here. Oh my god. Pod? Oh, I also need to put Ray Quasi Garb as well. Poggers. So yeah, I think Espeon doesn't gain much for itself, per se. Banette has an ability, yes, but it's not the entirety of the card, right?
It's actually probably the worst part about the card.
Whoa. I mean, it's not integral for the card. Like, Eevee has an ability. Oh, but you still set up your Espeon's late game with Garbodor active. And Banette can get like 1 or 2 pings off to throw onto Lele's, which is a very big deal. But that's it. I feel like shutting off abilities for the majority of the game won't hinder you much, but the ability is good. Okay, so SP Garb. We're concerned about Banette, of course. Banette, like, bodies SP Garb. A hard body. And more Zoro stuff. Like, everyone's just gonna experiment, man. Experimenting with the Zoro stuff. I feel like I'm gonna see all sorts. Like, you'll see that term on Bridget, and you're like, Zorua, yeah, okay. Zorua, yeah, okay. What are you doing here? You know, that's like, that's pretty much that's what I expect Worlds to be. It's like, what's going on? Yeah. Okay. New stadium is the Psychic Lele. Yeah, that's a good point for SP Garb. Fair enough. We'll allow this. The new stadium? I don't think SP Garb plays the stadium.
Is he not just saying... I think Doom's is just saying where is spread.
Oh, spread is
just
down
in general saying it gets good.
Stuff.
It's slower down.
It's in the new decks.
It does get good, though.
We're still on current decks.
It's the deck I've actually tested the most.
Poggers.
But I'm also not going to Worlds, so don't...
Woohoo! It's all going to be okay. We got a Kyogre, lads.
Zorua Numal.
We fixed it. Fixed Lapras. Done. Poggers. So yeah. Is Turbo Lapras just a worse Rayquaza now? Question mark? Right? Worse than Ray? I don't know.
It could be. Definitely could be.
Ray feels like the more consistent Aqua Box, I guess.
For exactly this tournament, mind you, Aqua Box loses a lot next format. For exactly this tournament, I think Ray is just
Lapras gains Articuno. It does. It does.
Don't you start.
Lapras has always been a worse Buzz? Yes, but there's, as you can see up here, lots of threats for Buzzwell. So will all the Buzzwell players flee to Lapras? No, they won't. Ray has built in Aqua Batch. Did Joe hit his head? No. Zorocario, sort of a dying deck, but doesn't really gain much on its side. No new threats though, and more Zoro stuff means thumbs in the upwards direction. So that's good to know. Toward Zoro, does Toward Zoro gain anything? Not hugely. And there are a couple of threats like spread, and stack attack is actually a bit annoying for Tord list, I think. Is it? Nah, should be fine. Forget it. Oh, it doesn't like Zoro Shift Tree. Shit. Is it try or tree? I can't remember.
Try.
It's try, right. I don't get scared of much else. Okay, cool. We're getting there. 1/1 Mad Cargo in Tord Zoro is really good. Yes. So I think Tord list is probably the only one that can fit the Mad Cargo realistically. I think a lot of people are worried about Parallel beetling it already. And just the fact that it has low hit points means it gets Guzma KO'd. But, I mean, it's still a really reasonable card for that 1 or 2 procs you get off of it, to be honest.
Talked about Stagey decks being tier 1 with Master Royal yet?
No, we have not. Master Royal should not see a lot of play outside of my cube.
However, in that said cube,
the thing about Zoro Control is that more people know about it and has lost the surprise factor, which can throw so many players off. That's true. There'll be a lot of Zoro decks that are playing their own Guru now, but I still think you're favoured just because you have more hate in your deck than they have. And to be honest, I think Zoro Lock is a really powerful deck. After seeing it in action, obviously played by Tord, it's dangerous, man. Sick him all the way 3 puzzles and only had 1 Zoroark on the board the entire time. And I still almost lost that game. So, yeah. Did I have... Oh, Espeon Garb, you suck, man. Get out of here. Let's lump this up a little bit. Whoop. Okay. Yveltal Break. What does it gain? Oh my god, it gains the Shrine. Is it Shrine of Punishment or is it Commandment Shrine? I can't remember what it's called.
Shrine of Punishment in English, I believe.
Shrine of Punishment. Nectar. Broken. Broken for the spread deck. Broken for damage output. How much does Yveltal Break do? It does 120, right?
120 plus and then 30 to...
30 to everything that's got damage counters. Hello, Pogs. Shrine of Punishment gets all that going for you. Easy money. Easy. Easiest game of my life. Yveltal Break. What's it concerned about? Well, is there any non-GX attacking decks coming out? It's only really like lower tier stuff like Swampert. Yeah. Swampert Ludicolo. And if you're worried about those, then, you know, who gives a pogs? So,
Who gives a bugger?
Yveltal Hooper. Boys. OP. Basically a free GX attack pog. Glispa Garb.
Galissa Pog Garb.
Spread should not have many GXs. No, I agree. How was Shrine not a 5-star card? In hindsight, we probably should have put it higher than we did. But spread is easily beaten, right? And everyone is like, "Oh my god, Shrine's broken, guys, spread's broken." And if anyone says that, people just go, "Oh, bench mime, you go," and then they lost.
You go.
So Shrine doesn't matter, right?
Oh my god.
It doesn't matter, right? So the more hyper spread deck gets, the more people go, bench mime, you go. So, you know, Shrine can never be 5-star just for that reason alone, I think. It could have been a 4. Like, it's a really powerful card and will be played in not just spread decks. But, yeah. Mime GX is going to be good. That wasn't the mime I was thinking of. So, yeah. Glissport Garb gains about nothing. I guess you gain the Celesteela as well, just because
I was going to say, Celesteela seems like the only...
You're a thingamajigger, and you get Copycat as well, if you really want to play that card. My spread deck already plays Alolan Muck. Good job. I mean, there will be spread Garbs, right? Definitely. And, yeah, spread Muck. Sort of has to be done, I guess. But even Zoroarks can just play max pots and stuff. I don't know. Feels kind of weird. But the Shrine does a lot of work, you know. Puts on the counters. Fact. Guardy, not scared of too much. Hold on. Scared of all the stacks of stackage. Oops, that's not a new card for you.
Stacks of attackers.
Stacks of attacks. Whereas Dustmane Magazine, it made top 35 at the NIC. Top 35 PogChamp. Sizzle. And this gains like nothing either, does it? No. Gains nothing. It attack, it also defend. He protect, he attack. Most importantly, he stack. Zorigari gains nothing, pretty sure. The only real... Like, I've heard people saying Guardy's in a better place for Worlds. Don't believe that nonsense. I think there'll be as much stack attacker as there will be Ray in a day 1 field. And you're still pretty horrible against most Zoroark decks, so... Forget what Mike Fouché says. Guardy's rubbish. If he's listening, I'm sorry. He did well with it, it's fine. Sylveon, again, doesn't enjoy stacks. Stacks of stuff.
Tim's just sent me a fantastic...
Oh, the Stacko Taco?
Yes.
Sylveon also really doesn't appreciate the spread stuff, because if they can do a devolve turn, you're sad face, so let's put spread in there as well. Again, similar to the Guardy argument, people are saying that Sylveon it could be a better play because of Ray, and although that kind of could be the case, you don't have acceleration for the Sylveon, so they can still just start swinging with their Rayquazas after they got rid of the first one, which is a problem. Zoroarks will be playing Guru, I imagine, just because of Tord Zoro, so you need to probably play like Kukuis and stuff. You got to take out your deck quite a bit, and you probably need to play like 4 DCU to win Ray. I don't know, maybe you can get away with 3, but there'll be diehard Sylveons. Let's just ignore them and stack them in the head. Joe, why is Stacks good? Because it's bulky AF, and its attacks are good enough. Minus 20 on Naga is broken. I mean, me and Jack have tried to build a stacker Naga and a stacker Stealer, where you're just almost taking the Buzzrock shell with lots of elixirs and lots of B-strings. Both seem reasonable, because the straight Stealer build has like Baby Duskmane, has Baby Celesteela, So you can be doing these 1 energy attacking things whilst trying to elixir and set up bench and set up prizes. So I think both are reasonable. The biggest downside is that you don't really have much of a draw engine outside of Orangaroo or nothing. So that's the biggest reason I'm skeptical for Stacker, but that's about it. Max, I promise it's fun. Unreal. Volk can die, please. He think, he attack, he stack. He tack. Oh.
Stack Attacker feels like a card. After testing it, it feels like a card that will be broken with the right list, but I think there could be a lot of lists that don't do well with it, and then people write off the card.
Yeah.
Because but I feel like with the right list, the card is busted.
Yeah, just that much reduction is inherently so good. So grand. Grand Alchemist.
Again, it's probably the deck that me and Joe have talked about the most.
So Galley doesn't really want to run into Bennett's because that would be sad. Especially if it's Bennett Garb. Doesn't really want to run into Ludicolo or Spread. Man, Spread is dangerous. Get those mimes out. Yeah. Xerneas Break, eh? The best deck in the format. What does it gain? That's right, nothing. What was it worried about? Stacks.
Not just Stack Attacker, but genuinely stacks of stuff it's worried about.
Scissors. Actually, it doesn't care too much about scissors. Oh, it does care about scissors because they have weakness. Zorro, Shiftry, Zorro, Ludicolo, all sorts really. Zorro plus O hit KO thing. Yeah. Balloons and Zernies. He said it. He said the magic words. Variable Ray matchup. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing you have going for you. That's literally the only thing you have going for you. Gains Electrode. Oh, yes. No! Don't play that card. Ever.
Elect Node.
Don't run around with Xerneas around scissors. Yes. Latios Frogs. Well, good decks it struggles against. Unlucky. And it gains Shrine, I guess. Sure. Fine. God damn it. So Zygarde enjoys everything that's not non-GX, right? Good job, Zygarde. So it's only scared of Swampert, Ludicolo. Broken. Guys, it's broken. And again, if people are playing less Zoropod, you know, when you don't need to pick up and read Zoropod, feels good. Why is this supported? I don't know. My free drop in Sheffield can confirm it. It gains Master Royal Poggers. Shining Genesect gains Electrode. Oh, what is all this chat devolving into? So Zoro Weavile, if you think a lot of people will bring new stuff and won't bring Buzzrock, you're in luck.
This is the play.
If people play Buzzrock, it ain't the play. This thing does bop a lot of things. And bopping things is quite good. So when I first saw the set, I was like, Zoro Weavile's the play. Because you can laugh at Stack Attacker, you can laugh at Ray, you can keep up with other Zoro stuff quite happily. And it all looks dandy. And then you realise that people will still play Buzzwole. And then you get quite sad. So, Weavile doesn't gain much itself. I'm pretty sure it gains just about nothing. But good new matchups is a big thing to remember. Zoro, weakness policy and Zoro Weavile, Joe. Oh, poggers, we've done it. Get Alter, Buzzer's Rust, plenty of abilities still around. Yeah, Zoro Weavile seems actually pretty good for Worlds if you avoid enough Buzzwalls. But I think there will be probably 7 or 8 rounds day one. And if you have a day like I had in Valencia, where you face 5, you're literally livid, and your day's over again. Thanks, Worlds. I can see it happening. Fuming. But played Zoro Weavile at the NAIC. He did pretty poorly in the opening, realised that he wasn't playing a great deck, but then realised he was a good player and still did okay. Good job, Bert. Buzz Weavile unit energy. Don't think that thought hasn't crossed my mind, because I thought about building that.
We actually did somewhat considerable theory crafting with that deck.
Yeah, we built it. If we build it, they will come. And we built it and then didn't take it because it looked horrible.
Turns out it was trash, you're right.
Nashville Open, Joe? Yeah, you're right. Benji. Looks around for someone in the room not typing stack attacker, looks in the mirror, hey, there's one. I don't know, man. Reduction of damage is good. Buzz without strong. Yeah, we need to... We'll do this whole thing for post-rotation, don't worry. We'll do our big video about it. Yeah. This is probably going to be a video that we'll make a lot cleaner, but for the stream we want to get the ball rolling and the ideas
down.
Rolling. Yeah.
The thoughts are often the most important thing. Should
Nagastacker play non-GX Dustmane? Yes. 1 copy at least. / most. What's he done there? Because it has a lot of hit points when there's stack attacker behind it. And Naga is never one-hitting stuff, so putting those 60 pops on the board is real swell. So that's cool.
Swell.
Vikabulu, oh my god, it gains Rage EX, it's broken.
He's lying to you all.
I am. It's terrible. It's so bad. It's just so bad. 10-minute pizza video for post-rotation, please, when we get there. I mean, if I'm going to spend 10 minutes, it would be on exactly parallel for the whole time. Mm-hmm. This is good now. This is good now. Look what you can bench now. That's basically what our post-rotation video will be when we get to the parallel slide. It's basically letting my clown out of the box again, because...
Oh, good, because that needed to happen.
It's like Pennywise when he does the dance in
the cave.
Yeah, in the cave. That's basically me as soon as parallel's gone.
Brilliant.
What kind of pizza did I make? It was a pepperoni pizza with jalapenos on it. Soda King, sorry, Weavile to play. Decidueye is good now. Poggers. 5 bench slots. Yeah. Voodoo discards energy. Ray doesn't like that. Agree. Sorry, I've got a party with lots of friends. First deck you built with Sun and Moon on is a Desi deck. Good old Desi. Bring it back. Okay, so that's all of our current decks. Then we look at the new stuff, right? And here we want to say, we just want to look at matchups. Because you want to know if a deck's worth testing, right? If we're going into Worlds, what are we expecting? Well, it's going to be the top tier stuff. It's going to be Zoro Garb, Zoro Rock, Zoro Pod, new Zoro stuff, Tord Zoro. That's already 5 Zoro decks we need to be prepared against. We've got to be prepared that people will draw cards against us, right? Got to be prepared for Buzzrock. And we got to be prepared somewhat for Mali. I honestly think Mali is fading out of my life. I don't see it being good when there's this many things that you're scared of. I don't see Mali... Like, it's a dangerous assumption to make. I've made poor assumptions for Worlds before. Um, I thought Greninja was dead when it came second, by the way. That's what ruined my worlds. I honestly think Mali is in a real awkward spot. Real awkward. So, that would be the thing that I would care about the least in terms of a bad matchup. Because inherently they'll just get bopped around by the Zoro stuff, I think. So really the big take-home story is that you got to prepare for lots of Zoro and Buzzrock. So that would be the big keynotes. And then from the newer stuff, good matchup for Zoro Ludicolo. I mean, here's the thing about Zoro Ludicolo. It's like you've got a permanent parallel on the board. Well, not permanent. As long as Ludicolo's on your board, you have a parallel on the board, essentially. Because you're doing 7 plus 5, you're doing 12, 13. So 13 is minimal if you have full board and they have an active Pokemon, which they probably should. That goes to 16 with Choice Band, so they're really limited, like, quite a lot. You're doing 190 if they have 3 bench. Yeah. So it is like a parallel, basically. If you're against another Zoroark, they can put 4 Pokemon down, I guess. Zoro Swampert, drawing cards so you can set up for more drawing cards. I don't see it being better than Zoro Magcargo, to be honest. Instead of drawing more cards, why don't you just draw the best cards?
Draw the correct ones.
Yeah, that's what I would say. People keep saying Mali's bad, but it keeps making results. I don't think... I mean, I've played a lot of Mali. I don't think it was bad pre-NAIC. I don't think it struggled with no draw engine. That was its biggest downside. If anyone watched our boy Adam Hunkins make his top 4, he knows how to draw cards with that deck better than anyone I know on this planet. But the odds are going against it, right? There's just going to be more Zoroark decks to contend with, which you never enjoy seeing. And there's going to be, again, spread is just a new horrible matchup. Or you have to add in another tech one-of to a deck that already needs to play tech stuff all the time. Parallel murders Ludicolo. It limits its damage and gets rid of 2 more Pokemon, limiting damage more. Yeah, so that's the thing about Parallel. It limits 40 damage from the Ludicolo, which is a big downside. But at the same time, it's like what some people have said in chat, where you're also just getting draw cards in general. So you're having the effect of Parallel on the opponent's side of the field. If they don't want to adhere to that rule, you can just one-shot stuff. So I don't think you're necessarily good in like Zoro Mirrors, but it's something to be aware of. I don't think it's going to be that strong. I think Zoro Shiftry has a higher chance of working than Zoro Ludicolo, to be honest. Mali's a better Vikabulu. Yeah, I don't think anyone denies that. Its natural matchups aren't great. That's where it's kind of different to Bulu. Bulu's natural matchups are better than Mali's, because you would expect to win some Zoroark matchups with Vikabulu.
Yeah.
But not the case with Mali. You don't go in expecting to win. So, yeah. I don't know. Zoro Ludicolo just feels like I don't really want to go over like good bad matchups per se. It just doesn't sound like the strongest Zoro build we could be playing. Zoro Shiftry intends to have good Zoro mirrors. And this is a big pull towards it from the offset, because you can one-shot their Zoroarks much more than they can one-shot your Shiftries and your other Zoroarks. And at the same time, you have green in the deck, so similar to Zoro Pod, you can check the Buzzrocks and the Zororocks, which is a big, big deal. So, it's not super scared of Buzzrock and super scared of Zororock. I think obviously it's more scared than Zoropod is, because it's way harder for you to get your Shiftry out, because it's 3 energy and it's stage 2, compared to just 1 energy swing. But Shiftry's big, man. He's a chunky boy, right? So I think Zoro Shiftry takes the reins of Zorogardi. If people were going to play Zorogardi at Worlds, now they should just be playing Zoro Shiftry instead, I think.
Oh, that's so sad. Zorogardi's so cool.
I think really the only benefits of Zoro Guardi is that you can play Gallade instead. Like, you could just play Zoro Gallade.
It's a pretty good benefit, though.
Yeah, Gallade's insane. But Zoro Shiftry seems pretty cool. Anyway. Zoro Mag Cargo. So, really, I'll be honest, I don't think Zoro Mag Cargo is going to be a big deck. Like, that's not right. I think it'll be Tord Zoro, basically. Tord Zoro with a 1-1 Mag Cargo is how I see this deck going. So, again, you can be pretty good at Zoro Mirrors, which, again, is appealing, right? Bad matchups. I think for like new bad matchups, I don't think you're super happy against Ray. But I mean, Zoro's just such a nasty piece of work, isn't it? Because it can just play things like Flare Grunt Parallel, Blower, stuff like this. It can play Kukui plus Reverse Valley or Devoured Field, and you can hit 180 Poggers with Choice Band, Kukui, Stadium. Ooh. So that's pretty pog. But yeah, it feels like it's just a new shell for Tord Zoro.
It's Tord Zoro, but draws everything it wants.
Definitely multi-switch, tech Q. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Mad Cargo just takes the bench spot for another Zoroark. A lot of people say that, but would you rather draw 4 cards when one of them's a guaranteed great card for you, or would you rather draw 6 random cards? Let me put it a better way. Would you rather draw 6 cards with one of them being guaranteed, or 8? Because you're always having a lot of Zoroarks anyway. I think you'd rather draw 6 than a perfect one of them, in general. But at the same time, they can get knocked out, and then you just have less Zoroarks on your board. So there is the debate there. The debate is there. It's up for grabs. But I think there will be Zoro Mag Cargo, no doubt. The combo is insane. Let's not beat around the bush here. Having that proc 1 or 2 times for free is insane. Drawing more cards always. No. Draw the right cards is better. That's the correct answer. Okay. Zoro Bennett, I think having a better Buzzrock is a big fun factor here. You can play a Zoroark deck that's not scared of your day 1 field running into a bunch of Buzzwolves. And after I've been shaking my head at some pretty jammy Buzzrock players this weekend, I think it's really appealing to have a 190 hit point resisting that can 1-hit KO baby buzzes for funsies, and that's going to be great for you. So I don't necessarily think you'll have a good Buzzrock, but I think you'll be at least 50-50 in the same way that Zoro Pod is, possibly a little bit more, maybe 55% in your favour, because you're forcing them to do so much more than you. They're always having to do all the work whilst hitting Guzmas, and you're not having to do that. Or you're doing that, but you're also drawing 8 cards every turn, and they're not.
I still think it's probably only 50-50. Depends. I don't know. I need to see a list, I think.
There's so much more Buzzbrick than Zoro Brick, though. So much more likely that they brick on you.
Yeah, and I think
basically early Mew pressure is how you try and win when you have Blitzpod backup. Here, you just do early Bennett pressure and hope that you can deal with their Rock Graphs. Because it's unlikely that they can go like, okay, I'll bench 2 Rockruffs, attach to 1 Elixir to 1, and they'll be doing enough on their own turn to make sense.
Yeah.
And even if they do that, you can do like Parallel Guzma, stuff like that. What's nice about not going to Worlds is you can focus on rotation. I know there's a lot of people in different places right now in terms of where their attention is, but I think it's wrong to not even consider what's good for Worlds. Even as just like a thought bubble idea. If you're intending to go to Worlds next year, I still think it's a valid exercise to say, what would I have played this Worlds, and then see if that ends up doing well or not. I think it's still a good thought process to get your mindset into, because it's something you have to train yourself in for the following years. So it's a good skill to have in the game to sort of analyze the new sets. Otherwise, there's no point you making it to Worlds next year if you can't adapt to these situations that will come up. Anyway, Zoro Burnett is worried about other Zoro decks, which is the biggest downside, because I think you'll have like the same shell as Zoro Pod. It's just that your psychic energies mean nothing in the matchup, unlike Pod, where the grass energies are premium because they're not getting E-hammered off. And in this situation, your psychic energies become dead cards as well. And that's a bit of a sad face. Although it can one bang a Lele, so maybe it's your finisher. Maybe you just keep a Shuppet on the bench in a similar way that you keep Wimpods on the bench sometimes.
One bang a Lele? Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
You fling a damage counter over, choice banded on, bring it up. See you later. See you later, mate.
Brilliant. We needed that.
Fun fact, Worlds being standard isn't confirmed yet. Don't make me cry.
Imagine.
Right, Turbo Ray. Real talk, or it's good matchups, Jack? What do you reckon?
I think it naturally should have a pretty good Zoro matchup. Obviously, people have found the answer in Sylveon EX, but on paper, you're hyper aggressive. 210 shouldn't actually be that difficult, which is scary. And Zoro decks, at least some of them do have a way to be one-shotting Rays pre-playing Sylveon EX. But like, for example, Zoropod gets one shot on a Ray exactly once per game, whereas Ray is going to be
as well.
That is the one shot, right?
Oh, the Sylveon.
No, I'm talking about if people aren't playing the Sylveon.
Oh, but
Zoropod gets exactly. Yeah, no, I'm talking about pre-Sylveon at the moment.
Okay.
Zoropod has one big bang, and then you just get run over by Ray. But now people have found the Sylveon. I think it's definitely evened up a little bit more. Zoro is always going to be the kind of deck that can find its one-off tech. It's the lists get tighter, but you know, Zoro Pod has lasted 9 months in this format now and is still debatably one of the best decks in format. So it'll work because it just does every single format. Turbo Ray in general, again, I haven't put much testing into it, so I can't say with confidence that it's as good as everyone says. I think it's probably not, but it's like we said in the set review, it's a deck that if it goes unchecked, it could always be a threat. If people don't play the Sylveon and people don't play a high power lockout and just kind of forget about this deck, this deck could easily win Worlds, honestly, because it has the card has that inherent strength. It's just that you can play around it.
You think this can win Worlds?
I think Ray could win Worlds if people don't respect it.
I mean, how much disrespect does there have to be for people to not play Trash Launch? Zorogard just won the NAIC.
I'm not saying it will win Worlds. I'm saying it could win Worlds. I think the deck has the power level to win Worlds. I think it's the top of tier 2.
Okay.
And I think me and you would have both put Zorogarb in tier 2 going into NAIC.
Yeah, true.
I think Zorogarb is a...
So all you got to do is have as good a matchups as even off day 1 and 2. Poggers. My mill until Dark Integral goes 0-3 on stream with it. Anything could win Worlds, agree. Mancargo Ludicolo will win Worlds, already has. Only time will tell if it can do it again. So Spread, realistically, has a lot of good matchups if people aren't playing Mime. I imagine
Spread is hella fun as well.
I imagine it's a high enough radar deck for people to begrudgingly add Mime into their decks. Also, Stack Attacker isn't only reducing the active, it reduces all your Ultra Beasts. So, that's pretty poggers against spread. So, rip spread against Stacker decks. So, bear that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Stacker Stealer feels reasonable against the Zoro stuff. I think it feels favoured against Buzzrock. So let's slam that down. If you're playing...
Literally one Celesteela.
Yeah.
Literally one Celesteela does so much for that deck.
Yeah.
You can even get it out, like... It doesn't even need to be your first attacker. As long as you get Celesteela online at some point during that game, you're so set. You're so set. You have to deal with, like... No, you don't. No, I'm just lying. You don't need to deal with the Rockruff as a priority because you actually live a full benched
Poggers!
GX attack, which is disgusting.
Survival.
You don't quite, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, you can. We worked out yesterday at League. Steeler has 300 HP. In our current build, Mindjo's current build, we can have a Stealer with 300 HP, which means you need to have a full bench, and the Buzzrock player has to choice band a Rockruff or a Lycanroc and have Deancey out to be able to one shot a Celesteela with their GX attack.
With us being careless with bench. Look.
With us being careless of bench, if you have just 4 stack attackers on your bench, it's actually impossible for you to one-shot us. You need to, like... So 200, 230, 250, 270, 290. You actually need to over-attach to knock us out. Or you need to play Regirock.
Yeah. So Buzzrock feels fine. Let's just say that. Same for Stacker Naga, obviously. So if you're trying to hunt down Buzzrocks and have reasonable Zoro, I think Stacker is the way to go. And I think that's why it's being hyped quite a bit. I think this could be the new insert Malamar here type deck because it doesn't have the draw engine of the other decks, but it feels powerful enough to compete with them. So that's pretty interesting, I think. The Stacker Stealer is, like I said, Beast Ring heavy and Elixir heavy. And the Stacker Ganadel is going to try and play like Acerola Max Pot. Beats best 2 decks in the format, seems decent. I don't think it outright beats Zoroark. Nothing outright beats Zoroark, but playing Beast Ring and Duskmane Necrozmas is going to be a real threat to deal with because you can Ultra Space out a Duskmane, Beast Ring to it, attach to it, detonate, and then you just attach, detonate, and that's going to put you in really good stead to finish out the game. So that sounds pretty good overall. Especially because you can use, again, things like Baby Duskmane to throw some damage about the board and finish off like Lele's and stuff. So I think Stacker has huge potential.
I think it's possibly my favourite card of the set.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I said there was something else. Did I say something else in the set review?
You need to play so much draws a point Stacker. It hurts to even Guzma 2 or 3 times per game. True. That is obviously the downside of the deck. Yeah, Mad Captain's right. The 160 for 1 is insane. So you play Delcatty, Poggers. Orangaroo. Enough said.
I hate you so much.
So, Bayonet, like, so far we've talked about Zoro Bayonet and there's Bayonet Garb also on here, but I feel like there's going to be like a Bayonet boxy style thing going on where we play like Rainbows and other attackers. I can't really tell you what its good and bad matchups will be. I think inherently it'll still have a bad Zoroark though, so I haven't quite conceptualized a Bayonet heavy deck, but I think it will be funny and maybe good. But Zoro probably bad, so it's a bold call, I'll tell you. Joe's answers to life: Oranguru, balloons, wob. Oranguru is not an Ultra Beast. No, but if you're playing Stacker Stealer, you don't actually need to have your board full of Ultra Beasts. You only need to have it if you're playing Stacker Naga. So that's fine. And the way I'm conceptualizing Stacker Naga is with a 2/2 Naganadel just to hit for Psychic Weakness, basically. I don't want it to be thick Naganadel, because even if it is thick Naganadel, you're trying to tank with the one that you have, so it only makes sense to play like a 2/2, I think. Because you have Ultra Space anyway, you'll find it. And you'll play Mysterious Treasures, probably. Ludicolo Magcargo really sucks against Garb, because it's all ability focused in stage 2, so Garbo stuff. What it wants to really face, I don't know really. I don't think this is a tier 1 deck, to be honest. I just throw it in here
Ludicolo
to talk about. Yeah.
Okay.
Swampert. Oh, sorry, not Swampert. Sizzle. Someone help me build this card. It's gotta be good. Wary. There'll be a way to make Sizzle good. I'm certain of it. I'm certain. I think its only real bad matchups going into this tournament is like Ray. Realistically. It's good. There's got to be a way. There's someone show me the way. Stack a Zoro Sealer, get with the times. My cargo with fire, get an elixir, hit for free. Scissor is banned and you know it deep down. Sizzle's gonna be like this set's the card that I want to test the most from this set. I don't know why. Metagross, Stephen Ware. That's in the bin, mate. That's in the bin. Terrible.
Unmodded.
You gain 2 new Beldums with Metagross. One of them's Heavy Ball searchable, one of them is Free Retreat. So, do with that what you will. But, yes, it sounds terrible. Sizzle, Malamar, Smeagol, Rainbow Brush. Poggers. 80 damage for 2 energy, no thanks, Puke. It's 2 energy reducing 30 and its ability is insane, so it's more than that, obviously. But I see where you're coming from, admittedly. Swampert counters, draws a lot of cards when you get the engine rolling. And the counter energy stuff is going to be things like Sudowoodo, Mimikyu, all this sort of shenanigans. And we're going to try and draw lots of cards and get these combos are rolling. 160 hit points is a big beetle for Zoro. But the thing is, they can just still do the Acerola healing stuff. And if they're still playing Pod or Shiftry, you're still bad. So I don't think you're necessarily good against Zoro, even though they can't one-shot you in many cases.
Why is Zoro so good?
Zoro's just too bloody good.
It might be one of the best cards I've ever printed.
Possibly. It's a bold statement. Can't argue with it.
Unfortunately, I have to agree.
Makes you sad Gator isn't in the set.
Wait, is Gator not in this set?
I mean, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Of course it matters. That's why I would have played.
Can I explain to you what's in the Stacker deck? What does it do? Why is it good v Zoro? The way you're going to try and win Zoro is by using Baby Dustmane early to put damage on the opponent's board. Obviously, they can like Max Potion and Lele and like Parallel and all that stuff. But he's just the bait, right? He's the bait, okay? Bait him out, take some prizes, boom! B-string, Ultra Space first, get the Dustmane down, detonate, and then you detonate another one, and then you just go, what now? What now, kid? What now, big boy? You're done.
Forgot to mention Katana as well.
Yeah, Katana's there, I guess, but you've already detonated them hard. Asserted dominance, 250. What next? And then just figure out your last 2 prizes. Done. They don't MUEX, they're bad. They messed up. Okay. But yeah, I mean, realistically, Zoroark's never going to be easy. But I feel like if you get 2 Beast Rings off, in a similar way to Buzzrock, if Buzzrock gets 2 Beast Rings off against Zoro, you're always feeling good. And it's the same case for the Metal deck. If you get 2 Zoros, 2 Beast Rings off, you're happy as Larry. Stackers GX for last 2 prizes? No, because you've GX'd with the Dustmane. Still think Seto with Arceus isn't too bad for a non-GX deck for Worlds. I've got floppy hair GX today. I blow dried my hair today because I was at the swimming pool doing some lengths of walking for my leg.
Shift to set.
I think we could do for our future Nuzlocks. Maybe not for this run.
There's still more to come. Bear in mind, you've just seen episode 7 today, and we've recorded up to episode nearly 20. I'm not going to say anything,
happens, guys.
but it's not a clean run. It's not a clean run.
For one of us.
I can't tell what you're saying.
Okay.
That one.
Oh dear. So Bennett Garb, right? What's a Zoroark anyway? Yeah.
I'm just catching up to the stream. He's wrong.
What is a Zoroark? Is my question. Good. Let's play Bennett Garb. Rayquaza Garb honestly feels like it's slower than Turbo Ray. And that's only a problem if Turbo Ray will actually be played. If Turbo Ray is not played, you can get away with playing Ray Garb, and hopefully Garb being on the board means that Zoroark players can't get to their Choice Band Sylveon DCE Floatstone combo, which sounds reasonable. And then your Rays stay on the board, and they smash. The biggest downside of Ray Garb is that you have to dedicate cards to the Garb line. You need to play 8 tools and a 2/2 Garb at least, and you need to play like at least 2 Stretcher alongside Super Rod as well. So, are we playing Frying Pan in Stacker for the ultimate meme? We are thinking of playing Fury Belts because Fury Belt does improve some damages, which is good.
However, honestly, after testing it yesterday, frying pans aren't awful.
Yeah, they're not awful at all. The mirror tech broken. So yeah.
Have you had some sugar or something?
No.
You're so hyper.
Mate, it's been too long since I've streamed. It's been like 2 weeks. I'm back. I'm talking about Worlds, man. Of course I'm hyped. We figured out the Worlds deck, boys.
I'm just sitting here having a yogurt.
So, after all said and done, Jack, now that we've got to the bottom of the new stuff, what do we think is the most important for us to test?
To test because we want to play, or to test against to beat?
Both. What do we need? What do we need to be most prepared for, and what do we need to build perfectly?
Zoro Shiftry, Zoro Bennett, Turbo Ray.
Yeah.
Spread
and dead. Yeah. Stacker stuff.
And Stacker, Steeler, or Stacker Naganadel. I think one will be better. So I think you will eventually be able to cross one of those off the list. But I don't know which one's better right now. So I'd say both until we work out which of the list is just fundamentally a better deck, and then just focus on that one.
What are your thoughts on Ray Garb? Just worse than Turbo, or?
I think Ray is such a perfect turbo card. it's more likely to be successful just running through its deck, I think. Probably Zoro Magcargo as well. I've just seen that you've missed out on that. Probably that. But I'd kind of... Like, in my mind, Zoro Magcargo is just making towards this and adding a 2-2 Magcargo in. So I'd just be testing it anyway to test it.
Yeah.
I don't actually consider it too much of a different deck, so that's why I wouldn't.
So, for the lower tier stuff that looks more promising after this set, we're thinking Zoro Weavile. We're thinking Yveltal Hooper actually sounds really annoying to deal with if people aren't careful. And Shrine is a big buff to Yveltal Break. What a meme. Wait for the Mark Rhaegar. Oh, yes. What other lower tier stuff do we think has a big chance? I mean, we saw...
Literally nothing.
How about Ray Magcargo Pog? Literally nothing. Zygarde, if there's going to be less Sauropod? Nah.
Maybe, but maybe.
Yeah. That's just round roulette if you're playing those sorts of decks, let's be fair. And then for the top stuff, instead of saying what's good, we'll say what looks worse. Bye-bye, Malamar. You look terrible.
Sit in the binder for 3 months, 2 months. You look insane post-rotation, but for now...
And I think SP Garb is probably the only other thing that I would say looks pretty awkward. Maybe Volk if people go crazy with Stacker. I mean,
I don't think Stacker will be big enough. I think Stacker will be a big card, but like you still have an awkward array. You still you do have an awkward array. That wasn't what I was going for though. You still have an awkward Zoro. You still have an awkward Buzzrock, and I think even if Stacker's 10%, you can't rely on that at all. And I think Stacker being 10% is probably generous.
Yeah, probably. I think Stacker will be one of those decks that, as Jack said earlier, it'll be heavily experimented, and you'll see it a load on the ladder. But it doesn't feel like a deck that a lot of people will pull the trigger on.
I think a lot of people will drop it, yeah.
Yeah. You see a lot of people getting frustrated after 10 games and being like, right, back to Buzz or back to Zoro.
It's a deck that also feels like will have diehard fans as well.
Possibly, yeah. So yeah, from beginning I see top 10, I think really the only bad decks really look like those.
Psychic stuff.
Zorocario. I mean, it doesn't sound that strong. But it's not bad for Zoro Mirrors, so I guess you can't write it off. Yeah, so that's our sort of rundown for Worlds, what sort of decks we're looking at. A lot of the top 10 decks are obviously going to remain good. You've got to look out for Hooper, because that Shrine is actually low-key pretty pog. And you're expecting lots of Zoroark and Buzzrock, and although Buzzrock has some answers, it doesn't really answer Yveltal all that well. Zoro Weavile looks really good if it's just people are put off Buzzrock by some of these threats like Bonnet, Naganadel, Stack Attacker, and Sceptile. I think Sceptile probably will have the least impact of those two. If people are successful with Zoro, Bonnet, and Stack Attacker Naganadel, I think that's going to be a big worry for Buzzrock.
Well, my captain's right. We actually haven't got Buzzgarb on the list.
Oh, Buzzgarb. Haha.
Still a good deck.
Was that, wow.
Garble seems to come back round and always be good at World.
For additions to Buzzgarb, I guess it gains the Regirock? I guess. What else does it gain? It doesn't really gain much, but it's also not too scared of anything. It again will enjoy some of these clunkier Zoro builds.
I much prefer Mark's list to the Orderpad list now.
Oh, I always did, but
I always preferred it, but I now think like you probably have to play Trash Launch now.
Yeah, Trash Launch for the Rays. But that sounds pretty free.
Like I could understand people playing either one.
Yeah.
And just personally preferred Mark's list, but now I think you outright have to play something closer to Mark's list, just because like Trash Lunch is so good.
Again, you're only really scared of... Oops, why is that in all caps? You're only really scared of Bennett. I think that's your only real fear. I guess Naganadel as well. Because although you have your own Acerola things, they're also going to play heal. I think those are really your only scary matchups. Autopad, I'm so talented. Okay, let's green Buzzgarb. I think that sounds very reasonable. Only if you're a smart player though, and don't play the bad cards. So yeah, let's give an overview. That gives us how many decks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 decks to consider. I think Lapras can be redded out just because I don't think it's powerful enough. I would personally red out Greninja, so that leaves a good chunk of decks to keep testing. I mean, I think in terms of the top decks changing, I think Zoroark and Buzzrock don't change their list much, other than potentially Rock having to play Mime, and basically I think the Zoroarks probably need to tech for Ray and Spread for World, so they watered down their Buzzrock matchup, which is a concern. Buzzrock basically plays the same 60 and hopes to hit the good matchups and hopes to not hit Stakataka or Bennett. Greninja stays the same. Zoroark stays relatively the same with the addition of Steelo, which is actually really nice, I think. That can improve your Buzzrock additionally, so that's really fun for you. Zoroark and Taurzoro is just going to add Magcargo, probably. It may not do, but yeah. Guys, do you play Oricorio in the spread decks? I personally wouldn't, but it's not a horrible one-off at all. I think I would just stick with Cocos in general.
My current build for spread has 4 Coco and 3 Latios, so you don't need it.
Yeah.
With Shrine, like 2 Coco spreads is often enough for devolve stuff. And that's not... there's so much damage you can do with the deck now. That's honestly sometimes not even the win condition against evolution stuff. It's genuinely just try and kill 6 Mons. Kill 3 GXs rather than devolve things. Like...
yeah. You're just doing more damage now.
You do so much damage, you can actually reach knocking stuff out normally now. With, like, Lele. So, I don't think you need it. Just for... because, like, yeah. You don't need it.
17 decks we have to test for Worlds. So that's it, boys.
Incorrect.
Crack
17
your fingers
decks.
together.
You have to tech for Worlds.
Oh, no.
Me. I'm ripping at my parallel cities.
Sweet. Easy game, right? That gives us an hour to play some Pokemon.
On that note, I'm actually going to leave because I really don't feel well. So I'm going to leave this last hour to you if that's okay.
How dare you?
I'm not feeling great at all, but I wanted to stay for the World chat because I think I've actually done more testing than Joe in this very brief.
He went to League, alright, guys?
I went to League once.
You go YOLO day one, win or lose, no ties.
It was 1 hour Buzzrock marathon.
Sylveon Mill winning Worlds. You enjoy the chats, it's always fun. Just one man's opinion, of course. I'm sure a lot of people will do their own things, and I'll make a proper video for the impact of Celestial Storm. In hopefully maybe like a couple of weeks after I get the initial lists out there, because I'll probably need a weekend just to get all the slides and get it to look nice and pretty. But tomorrow Rayquaza is going live. Then we're gonna start getting like Stack Attacker and all these other decks rolling. Me and Jack are going to try to divvy the decks up between us fairly.
We started, but we got annoyed at one another because we were taking each other's picks.
I had to stop talking to Jack because he took all the ones I wanted. But yeah, the new list will be coming out soon, and we're going to be integrating more of the Nuzlocke because we're getting through it now. So I actually holiday a lot before Worlds. I have a week holiday before Worlds as well, so I'm going to be testing a lot on PTGO that whole time, but I won't be making videos that whole time, so I'm going to have a backlog of videos set up, so yeah. You like to see all the different perspectives?
I think it's useful. I think it's really useful because, especially talking to you guys, because me and Joe I talk to Joe the most about the game, so a lot of these opinions I've already heard.
Yeah.
So it's nice to also hear other opinions on whether we're just completely off the ball with like Stacker Stealer or whatever, because that was built after or like mid-meal while we were more focused on food than winning World.
Yeah, because I mean, I was originally thinking of Stacker Naganadel. It's just like, oh, obviously it is pair. But it was cool to be like, wait, these are all basics. I know what's good. Max Elixir. I know what's good. Resisting 60 a turn. That's also very good.
Turns out.
I know what's good. Detonating the active.
Detonate. I already miss Luke Williams.
Yeah. It's like he's here now with us.
I wonder if he is. Oh, he's not.
Add the drying pan to that. Yeah, I mean, you could reduce 90 against fighting and psychic decks, which is pretty pog.
So dumb.
You could additionally play Assault Vests to improve your Zoroark instead of the frying pans. So,
The deck's actually really versatile. It's crazy.
yeah.
You play one frying pan, you play one assault vest, you play one fury belt, and you play one change clothes McGinn.
Correct.
Spoilers. That's our list.
Spoilers, that's correct.
Spoilers. Not gonna ruin it for you, but that's how you win Worlds. Right, yeah. Enjoy your last hour with some Zoro Glade.
I will.
Show people what it can do. The first game I had with this deck, chat, I got a turn 2, 3 Zoroark and 2 Glade up against a Zoroark player. It was Luke Williams, actually. He was a little bit speechless.
Livid.
Can even attack with McGinn then. You can. It's broken. Broken the meta. Right, yes. Cheers everyone in chat. Sorry I'm bailing early, but like I say, I'm not feeling great. But you know, it's been fun. Glad we got to talk about probably the most important tournament of the year.
Some say that.
Yeah. Right, anyway, in a bit, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
We don't really want to end. Not bad, not bad. So we have a supporter next turn. We played one this turn, right? Oh my god, did we play a supporter this turn? We need to play a supporter this turn. That could have been embarrassing. We haven't played supporter, right? Did we Cynthia? Wait, yeah, we Cynthia, right? Talking. Talking is the bane of thinking. Yeah, we did. Oh, you're right. I should have just looked at the... Look at this nectar turn. Look how long my turn was. Played, Cynthia. Well done, me. Good job. Talking is the bane of thinking. Gonna get that tattooed on my forehead. Get to the discard and click the box. Did they get Grass Energy Glisopod, or did they get DCE Glisopod? That's what they got to do to bop us this turn. Well, they're grabbing Zorua. That's a good sign. They can copy our Zoroark's attack, actually. Okay, but they don't. Premier League. That's the DCE. That's everything we ever wanted. That's that, that's that, that's that, that's that. Okay. Do 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 do. Bop the Mew. Easy money. Bop it with Gallade? Nah, bop it with Zora. Keep the Gallades on the bench. And second Premier League, because we don't want the other cards in our hand. Possibly want... Oh my god. We want these though, don't we? Yes. Yes, I think we do. It's really hard trying to focus on chat and the game. Yeah, it is. It is. There's no doubt about that. Red Nax, how's it going? Legal stacking feels good. Yeah, got him. And this could have been my day at Valencia, had we had faced enough Zoroarks. So you're telling me he can't bench another Zoroark, and he has to win. Oh my goodness, he evolved a Zoroark. Whoops. What have you done there then? You little nectarine. He can't win at this point anyway? No. You're right. He probably cannot. He could do some like parallel dead shenanigans, but even then. Is he going to try and GX our Glade? That looks like what he's trying to do. Did I enjoy the weakness policy, by the way? When we were testing against the Buzz Rocks, your Gallade is active anyway because you need it to KO the baby buzzes, and they're probably just guzzling the other Zoroarks that you have. So the weakness policies were actually very poor in the deck. It feels bad, man. Armor press. Do you really think that's the way to win? Let's have a look. These are all good trading cards. As in, cards to trade away. Did I play Mysterious Treasures? No. You can though. We thought about it. Take Evo Soda and reshuffle the deck. Yes, that is what we're doing. Hi-yah! Premier League. Nectarines. You solved the case. Yeah, sorry, Bully. You're right, you're right. Pow! Murder. Straight up murdering them. Rude. Really rude. Oh, what's even on this ladder? I see Furious Fist Packs. What a dream. Come on. Come on. Lysander. Poggers. Also, guys, let me know in chat which decks you want to see recorded first. Obviously, I did Ray first, but like after Ray, what are you most excited to see us upload? Obviously, me and Jack are impressed by Stack Attacker, so we'll be churning that out quickly regardless. But what sort of Zorro decks do you want to see done first? Stuff like that. Let us know. I also need to do like updated lists for a bunch of decks as well. So, and someone tell me how to play Sceptile, please. Typical Zoropod drawing trash. An update to Match Gross with Stevens. So the King, you really like Bennett? Yeah, cool, cool. I can jam with that. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the poggest of them all? That's right, it's the guy who goes first. Although we did leave Mew, and that's a bit of a sad face. But the good thing is, if the Mew's active, he's more likely to swing with a Zoroark. And if he swings with a Zoroark, we can swing at his head with one of these. So that's good. We also play weakness policies, and they probably won't. So that's quite funny. No rare candy means we have to do this without stacking our deck. Feels bad. A review of why Steven's the best supporter. Do I mind showing this list? Sure. I've already shown it today, so not a prob. Happy to do so. Let's beat him up. You want a 1 hour in-depth analysis of Steven? Why? Why are people so enamored by this card? It does nothing. It literally does nothing. 10-minute timeouts are deserved. It's a bit of a sad end. Is that a weakness policy? Yeah, it is. Trying to improve our Zoroark / Buzzrock. I think it is easily one of the worst cards in this list, though. Easily. The hammer. Ooh, got rid of a rare candy. They must have 2 rare candies in hand. We really don't want to let them candy. Ah. They got a Pinkums out. That's really good. That's good for us, guys. Pinkums isn't the scale. Poggers. Pinkums isn't the scary one. He couldn't even kill us. He put the choice button there. What do you do? What do you do? You clown. You big old clown. Big, big clown. By putting the energy on the Guardi, it does mean he can actually respond on this Gallade. They only have a 3-card hand size though, and they'll only have 1 trade after this. I mean, they can still quite easily hit DCE. That parallel, such a shame. Such a shame it had to be exactly that turn. Because on all the other turns, the Mew just gets wiped off our board. Frustrating. 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 We have to do this though, it's just too much pressure to not do it. Under pressure. Hopefully we can put Blower to the top of our deck. Because then we can use the Lele. No! Getting Mallow's not bad. Okay. Seems fine. Mallow for Blower and then Ultra for the Glade. I don't know, man. It feels kind of sketchy to do that. I guess we could have gone for lesser hand. But even if we put down the... Like, the Rolt isn't that important because it's not going to respond on the other Glade anyway. So I'd rather be... Like, if we just throw down more Rolts, we don't want to be swinging into the Guardi regardless. We want to be swinging with our Zoroarks anyways. So... Don't think it's huge. You should have Mallowed first, then evolve, and use second trade after Fran. Possibly. Martiana has it going. Cheers for the sub. Yeah, Tech Q. That's probably right, actually. It's weird. My sequencing with Mallow has always been trade first, because you could trade it into the pieces you want. But with Gallade, you're actually right. You should Mallow first. Because you then have mini Mallow. 5-card Mallow. Yeah, you right. You right. Calling me Mightyena. Cheers, Ben. Oh no. So, move Kato. Fine, do you want to sit down? Okay, fine. Fine. Be cute for the chat. Do it, I dare you. Ugh. You can't see my face right now, but it's scared. Oh, kill me. Playing no choice band is... How do we deal with this? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is a problem. Guardi going insane on my board. And if they get a... we have one more trade. What am I doing? No. We don't want to end. End sounds really bad. We need this in case they burst a Galahad out of nowhere. No. This parallel's been a big beetle. Eat it. Eat the big 60 up. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 to 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. If only we played choice bands. No. Punished. Punished. Dunna, dunna, dunna. Dunna, dunna, dunna. Dunna, dunna, dunna. Dunna, dunna, dunna. Oh, little catto. Xana turnip. Hello, kitty. It's okay. It'll all be over soon. This Gardevoir will munch through us like butter. Butter doesn't really munch. We could have come up with something better than that. What are they doing? What are they doing? They're giving us a way to win the game. Poggers. Just need to figure out how we win this game. Still. We'll figure that out as we go. We have more Gallades, right? Yeah. Oh, don't do this to me. Field blower one time. 8. Kill the Glade. Kill the Glade with our Mew. Then they respond on this very easily. Then we're still at square one. We really need to Field Blower. We really need to Field Blower, develop a Ralts. But if I just swing and hit this Guardy again, it's so bad. So bad. Oh my god. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, it's so bad. Re-pressure. I guess we stop them stacking the deck. But we're really not progressing this issue that we have. The big issue. I can Sensitive Blade the Guardian with the Mew? I can, but it does the same as Energy Drive, right? Does 30 more. That's a card we've been looking for, at least. Can stop the Guardy snowballing if he's trying to snowball. I guess they don't know that we... Oh, she's gone. They don't know that we don't play choice band, so they can already sort of deny it. We can already kind of deny the snowball effect. So our board sucks, right? But we can at least E-Hammer this Guardian and make it less scary. That's good. So our game plan this turn is to please get Field Blower. And from there... Oh, we can actually Mallow the Field Blower. Mallow for Field Blower plus Puzzle. And just try and develop the Raltses. And swing with the Mew. That sounds fine. Ew. Okay. Okay. Come here, you big beetle. Let's give it a little swapsy. Let's get rid of these clown shoes. Get this Guardy a lot less threatening. Puzzling double rolls. I wonder what our plan is, huh? Smack him for 100. The 100 is really like fake pressure. It's not. It's not our real way to win. But yeah. Yeah, we have no DCs left. We have puzzles in charge. We'll find it. Let's chill. Can you draw double puzzle again? We can charge. Charge! It's fine, guys. It's fine. Chill. We're in so much trouble. I think we couldn't not put down 2 rolls, though. It's just so easy for them to win if we only put down 1. Support card broken. Oh, broken. Ah, So we need both puzzles to be in our top 5 cards. Easiest. Oh my god. Easiest game of my. Oh. This isn't game. Embarrassing. It's not even N. This is the opposite of Pogs. This is Lego. This is this little building block of Lego right here. She knows. Give it a little nap. Livid. Harry! Okay. They have 1 card in deck. They played 1 Guzma. Boy! Huh. It's just that parallel was such a clown emoji. It was literally on the perfect turn. It was on the perfect turn. Also the fact that we prized E-Hammer. How did we beat? How would? Yeah, it's just a parallel. Pre-parallel, our board was like impossible to lose, right? Even though we led the Mew. Too many factors there. It's the fact that Mew was active was the biggest clown town. What else could we have done there? We were behind on prizes as well. This was an out. Oh my pogs. I mean, it's only an out if we hit puzzles. Oh well. Whatevsies. We should have dug for special charge the turn before, I guess. Opponent missed 2 KOs, still won. I mean, we missed a lot as well. We missed blower on parallel for too many turns. That's always the death of Zoroark, especially when you play no bans. I think I should have not attacked with a Mew. I guess that kind of keeps my hand. I don't know, we also forced the... yeah, you're right. You're right. The Mew was silly. Too greedy. Should just thrown a Lele at his face and be like, deal with that. Why? Why Scoop? Why you do this? Where's the fun in this? I don't know, I really haven't played much Zora Gallade before. I played it for like... Actually, I didn't even play it. I watched Jack play it for like an hour before. At like 1 in the morning, the night before the tournament, and I was like, we could jam this, you know? Triangles. Could just improve the deck and add choice bands. I mean, the deck doesn't need choice band. We just faced Zora Gallade. Who cares? Zora Guardia, I mean. Don't care enough about that matchup. And also, you don't need the choice band if you hit blower. No, the secret's out. Oh no, I was about to click concede, but you play 3 Gallades. Nectar! Come on down! Dun 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 dun. Save it for Gallade. Sure. Max elixir to that Hooper real quick. Dare you? Oh, whiffing it's even better. What are you ultra balling for, Mr. Triangles? What do you need? Oh, the best card in the game. Good decision. Look guys, I just drew 1 card. For free. Broken. Enhanced hammer, you say? Oh dear, okay. I don't think the enhanced hammer's wise to use on a Mewtwo. I don't think it's worth it. So we could Ultra Ball Mallow. Mallow gets us Candy Gallade, but we're still not smacking. We could trade into Candy and then Cynthia. Or trade into Candy and Guzma. Yeah, so we're not going for the Mallow play. That's a bit feels bad. 2, 4, 6, 8. Only doing 80 with our Zoro. 100 with our Zoro. Ow, cat, stop. 3-card hand size. They're not going to appreciate moving their Guru, are they? Putting preliminary damage on the Yveltal isn't bad either, I guess. Okay, I just want to move this. We already have Gallade in our hand, so I think this is reasonable. Gallade can't one-shot the Yveltal, so this is pretty reasonable. IMO. And it may bait him to attaching energy to Hoopers. E-Hammer of their own is a bit annoying. Mime is never good, cry-face emoji. For World's Mime is probably necessary, which is a cry-face emoji, but realistically it's probably necessary. Oblivion Wing. Return of Cat. Why not Ultra Ball out to get rolls? Because we already have a rolls. And there's no point in us putting a rolls down if we're just... Like, it's not likely that we hit Floatstone for our Lele. Two Ralts is better than one. You're right, but nothing on their bench could have dealt with Ralts in a turn. It would have to be this thing, Guzmaring, KOing it. And that doesn't feel too likely. Now we can do the Ultra Ball Mallow thing. But again, we want more than... it's actually fine. Get rid of these two. Search my deck for a Mallow. Mahalo. We probably will need special charge this game. So we'll just get rid of the Cynthia. We have our engine ticking along. I mean, we do have puzzles, you know. Is it safer just to keep... we can always puzzle back the charge if we don't feel like puzzling back just DC's raw. This feels pretty good. Actually, we want something we can just trade away, right? We can do trade into Cynthia into Premonition trade. Don't really see how this goes down outside of Elixir shenanigans. They could Elixir attach, break, evolve, knockout, I guess. It's probably their only way of knocking us out. You're out of this format. A lot of people are sort of dispersed into what they care about at the moment. A lot of people won't care about Worlds. I currently can't care about post-rotation because there's an important tournament in my way first, so just the way it's got to be for now. But as I said earlier, I think it's a good exercise just to see what you would think about for Worlds. Because if you're going for it next year, then you want to know that you can adapt to a brand new format, and that's what you need to do to win Worlds. So, yeah. I love all your ideas so far. Oh no, cat's gone. She's scared her away. Feels bad about that. Had to move my bad leg. Yeah, Tech Q, you're right. There are still League Cups and stuff. Oh, whiffed Elixir. Feels bad, man. They whiffed 2 now. So this Zorro is alive. Maybe not. No, no, no. Cheers, Nick. It's good to know. Good to know that we're helping people. Even though you don't get the result you always want in tournaments, it's good to at least be thinking about the game in the right way, you know? Baby Veltos is a sort of pain to deal with for us. We know Guzman's not on the top 4. We just Cynthia first. I could have had the float stone on top and just attached it somewhere, but I don't think it's a big enough deal for me to be too concerned about. Trade first. Premonition. Don't really want any of these cards. They're good for future trades, I guess. So we get it in this order. Heal our boyo. Puzzlers. Might just be 2 DCs, you know. It always feels weird when you pay special charge to puzzle back 2 DCs. I think it's fine. And we have one more card that we can look at. And it's the same outcome. So we have 2 trades, so we can get rid of a useless card, and then we get into the Mallow afterwards. Oh, we actually have a trade now. Nectar. That's fine. That's good for next turn. I should have done the trade first, then the premonition afterwards, but whatever. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. Do I think anything will hit the ban list tomorrow? As long as it's not Zoroark, it's fine. I don't think... I can't really foresee anything getting banned. not so close to rotation. I think the natural problem cards get cut anyway. If Beast Ring got done, I would celebrate. Gamer Ness Fun. Cheers for the follow, dude. The only reason I say Beast Ring is because it's a super uninteractive card. And it's literally, your win percentage is so wonky based on did I draw it on the right turn. It's just so annoying. What if a Rangaroo gets banned? That would be a pretty interesting one. Be a spanner in the works for some Zoro decks. It does create some quite degenerative games as well in mirrors. Hope all XY cards get banned. Puzzles is up there with Beast Ring and Elixir. You can tell that I played against a lot of Buzzrock this weekend. I did. I really faced too many of those. 'Twas gross. Too much big brain for this time of night. Can't be bothered big braining. I want small brain. I want to no brain this. Save this for when I need to puzzle back heal card. I'm going to need this heal card. I'll probably need to get this. So we just trade one more time, then prem after. This is fine. None of these cards matter. Die Coco. Again, force them to hit like their last elixir for their Yveltal. Sean's saying Parallel too good. I mean, there's a lot of super high power level cards, but Parallel's been around for so long, I don't think there's a reason for them to cut it now, like a month before it naturally rotates. And yeah, he's talking about Giant Stump. What are my thoughts on adding acro bikes so you can hit B strings more consistently during those turns? I think maybe the Buzz Garb decks can play acro bike now instead of meme card. But that's really about it. I don't think Rainbow Trash will necessarily play Acrobike. Energy Drive. Premonition. Terrible cards, as we all knew. I can't one-shot the Lele, so we shall one-shot something else. And I think I want the Guru. Just 'cause it's nice for him. 2-4, 2-4-6, 120. It could also be the Mewtwo, just because it's going to be a pain if he gets one more spread attack off. Okay, let's deal with the Mewtwo. Just I can't bother with it. Oh look, they still suck. Didn't dig any deeper into my deck and just wasted premonition, basically. I don't really care though. Let's just trade for our deck. Time Ball should be banned, so I don't have to gravitate towards playing. Attaches weakness policy to Glade. Could have done. Could have done. If we do that, we can take out the Guru, I guess. It doesn't stop us being knocked out by the Yveltal regardless, though. I don't know. You'll never play Time Ball again. Feels pretty necessary, I'm afraid. I'll be honest. You're probably going to need to play it at some point. Sorry. Oh, lose it to your Veltal break. Ooh. Kill me. Look at this damage. How do I even win? Are there any good cards in my deck yet? No, they all still suck. Ah, kill me. I actually can't win, right? When you can't beat Yveltal Break, it's time to commit treason. I can't win, right? I can't Guzma this turn. Let's just slink off into the darkness and cry ourselves to sleep, shall we? Bye! Oh, don't make me think thoughts. I don't want to think. Oh, challenges. When you don't want to think, play Bursting Balloons. Poggers, we did it! Now we just need to draw a supporter in 3 turns. Three top decks, boys. 3. We have 3. That's like 3 times as many as normal. Normally you're like, I need to draw now or I'm dead. Now it's like 3 chances. We can draw 2 balloons and then a supporter. What a dream. Oh, we don't play Lele. Rip. We can put 10 damage on this Dustmane. It is actually reasonable to put 10 damage on this Dustmane. I mean, Dustmane's never a problem for us ever. It's only really damage that it helps us out with. I'm happy to attach here because we have 2 energy cards. So you may as well get little boop, little splash, splash, splash. Sean, you're enjoying the Nuzlocke? I'm glad, man. It's we're in 2 minds about the Nuzlocke because obviously it's not as popular as the TCG content, and that's completely understandable. We're not known for the video games at all, and it's only the portion of people who care enough about just watching us to watch that, currently at least. So we don't get the views, but the people who do enjoy the content seem to really enjoy the content, so it is sort of a labour of love for us at the moment, but it is a lot of fun. And even, like, I watch the things because a lot of the time I don't get to see Jack's screen until it's actually uploaded, so it's fun to look at our reactions and stuff, and it gets hype later on, trust me. It's all easy breezing right now, plain sailing. But trust me, things take a turn. Uh-oh, we've spent 2 of our dead draws. We spent it so early. Why did we have to spend our 2 dead draws immediately? Why couldn't we just draw a supporter and be chilling? Now we only have 1 more turn where we can dead draw. Making my way downtown. Getting frogs out. Man, I wish I had Stevens right now. Yeah, it's good doing different stuff. I mean, we just do it because we enjoy it. I know it's a lot of editing for Jack, so it's a lot more effort for him. He's the one labouring. I'm just doing my normal thing, sticking a recorder on and talking. But it's a lot of hard work for Jack, so it is good to see it gets well received, and it would be nice if we got more views. But I imagine as it becomes more, as we start getting a catalogue of Nuzlocks, then I think it's one of those things where you can watch a Nuzlocke at any time, whereas our current videos, even like our deck analysis, they're only really relevant for like a month, maybe 2 months at a push. And even then, it's just like the shell, and people still need to make changes after like weeks. So the Nuzlocks are things that are encapsulated and permanent, so people can always watch them throughout time. So even though they're not blowing up now, they could always just be in the catalogue for months and months to come. So that's the appeal of a Nuzlocke. Did you miss the World's Ramble? Yeah, you did, but it'll be back on the YouTube tomorrow. Basically, most of the top 10 decks for the NIC are still good decks. Malamar looks unplayable, so does Espeon Garb. And then from the new stuff, some of the Zoro variants are the most... we top deck on the perfect turn. Broken. Frogs, everyone. And what was the other thing I was going to say? I was going to say some words. Yeah, the Zoroark stuff looks good. Stack Attacker looks good. And a few other bits and bobs. This looks good. Play the cards. Pretty just so easy. You just play the cards. Wait, this isn't balloons. How am I meant to win now? No. I've been scammed hard. Shadow stitching. Any thoughts on doing live things? Maybe the Elite Four? We're thinking of whenever someone loses, they need to do the catch up to the other person as to where they are, and that'll all be streamed. So if ever someone loses, there'll be a stream catching up to the point of where the other person is at, unless we both lose, like if it's a soul link. So that's what we're thinking. Okay. Beacon. You have a good deck. You have a good deck. You have a good deck. Shadow stitching. The new stadium's really good. One counter on every GX. Oh, it is pretty cool for Dramper, actually. Yeah, the stadium is very good. Agree. Bye, Starmie. He's back in the game, lads. He's not. He's at it. Let's get the team back. Frogs is broken, boys. I've learnt the ways. Yeah, a rival lock could be cool. At the moment, we're thinking that once we've both completed a generation, we'll just fight each other on like a on Smogon or something like that. So we do 7-13. Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? This matchup is so free. Yeah. You're not wrong. Poggers. Yeah, we have ideas for different type of Nuzlocks for each generation. We're going to go through every gen game and have different rules for each Nuzlocke. It should be pretty chill. Yeah, Mind on Air. You can check the VODs or just wait for tomorrow to watch it on YouTube. Up to you. Oh, it's got the Delmise. That makes all the... Oh, no, it doesn't. It makes no difference at all. Oh, this is a list playing Lele as well, because I was playing the wrong list, remember? That's funny. Dos, tres. Okie dokie. Oh, the clutchy hammer. Ooh, that's actually very good. Come here, Starmie. We need you to do stuff. We need you to ping some pokes in the head. Oh, crumbs. Yeah. pretty crumbs right now. Crumbs and invasion. He's close to deck out. We win with deck out, right? Ridiculous. Right, there we go. It's 12:04. Playing the wrong frog list because it didn't have balloons in it. Still managed to win somehow. Don't ask me how. Was Ninja GX never mentioned in the Worlds preview? We mentioned Latios frogs, and basically all I said was there's less Boswell and less Malamar, and that's bad for Latios frogs. I didn't mention it in any other capacity because I don't think it deserves to be mentioned in any other capacity at the moment until Parallel goes, and then it's freedom to kill stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It feels really good to be back, and I'm super hyped for Worlds now because I was so unenthusiastic about the format from NEIC because I wasn't going, and I was upset that I wasn't going, and also Valencia just felt like a really bad format to be part of. And now that it's fresh and new, I'm really excited to do all this testing and new videos and stuff. So that sort of came off today, I think, a little bit. And yeah, ready to get testing and get ready to win Worlds, or at least make day 2 for the first time ever. So yeah, should be good. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back soon. Thanks a lot.